those two together.
That's fine.
We do it live.
Do it live.
It's part of the Rathon
We'll
part
do
of
it live.
Yeah,
Meowrathon.
exactly.
We're live.
I just wanted to make sure that people looking at it weren't shocked that this wasn't Thirsty Sword Lesbians is all.
That was a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you missed it.
Yes, Squeaky, for really reals. All right. Oh, Josh, get us into this thing.
All
Yeah,
right,
let's
yeah.
go.
So we're going to be playing Blades in the Dark today, a game by John Harper and Evil Hat Games, and we'll be using the One More Multiverse. Wanted to give them a big shout out because this is one of the coolest virtual tabletops around. So check out Blades in the Dark, check out One More Multiverse, playmultiverse.com. But other than that, we're here to tell an awesome story about a crew of scoundrels. So let's jump right into it. So Blades in the Dark takes place in a haunted Victorian era industrial city where the sun has exploded. It's always dark and ghosts are everywhere. And that's where our crew finds themselves today. The crew that we have, they're known as the Disappointing Children. And why don't we get a sense of who our characters are that we're playing with, and we'll do it in the same order we did the initial introductions, but let us know who you'll be playing and a little bit about if they were going to be invited to a heist, why were they invited?
Has anyone else immediately forgotten the order we went last time?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah.
Sasha. We went in the order on my screen, so I can tell you. We started with Sasha.
Of course we did. Right. I personally
Yay.
cannot wait to see what voice comes out of my mouth, but I will be playing Jane Smith. That's all you need to know. That's all anyone ever knows. I don't get my hands dirty generally. I let other people handle my dirty work, but this particular case, I just had to get involved with because, ooh, is it juicy? What a score.
Mm-hmm.
I am a spider. I get things and information for people. I get into places and I get through places. Usually with lying involved.
Obviously.
You drink and you know things.
I drink and I know things. It's very much a part of the job.
All right. Caden, who are you?
All right.
Why are you part of a team? Sorry, I need to
Oh, me?
emphasize Caden.
I can't open.
I gotta make sure I get the in there.
Wait, which one of us?
You, Aiden.
I can't open my character. Okay, there we go. All right. My character goes by Bug, and he used to work in a factory that manufactured weapons. He is. I'm the Whisper, right? Yeah, I'm a Whisper. In the factory, he talked to ghosts, and they helped him out in the job, and that he eventually quit it because there was people dying there because of just accidents. And then he went to crime because he got poor. And then in his free time, he just talks to ghosts he sees or finds. Yeah. And the reason he's on this job is because the area that it's the Dimmer Sisters, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. The area that the Dimmer Sisters are in is filled with ghosts.
I've got ghosts in my blood. Okay, the other one that ends in Aiden.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's good.
So I am Geralf Stewart III. I go by Jerry. My vice is gambling, and I come from the underworld.
All
Scared to
right.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Who are you as a person?
Yeah, what do you get up to?
I don't know. Crimes. I just do it when I'm bored.
Don't we all, mate? Don't we all?
Boredom crimes. The best kind of crimes.
Boredom crimes.
The cool crime of stealing. John. Is it John? You with the iPad.
Okay. I'm playing Rudder. Rudder was a sailor out on the ink dark sea and would gather bits of scrap to create little inventions for himself. That is until that got so expensive that he accrued so much debt, the Bluecoats confiscated his boat and put it in impound. So I'm on this job hoping to get the money to get my boat back and get out of Dustful. But I'm a leech. I like making little gadgets, and being out past the lightning wall means I've learned a few tricks to deal with ghosts. So I think I'll be handy on this job.
Nice.
Very good.
Right. And I am Ralph Gillian, but everyone just calls me Sir. And I am formerly from the Perfington family out in the Dagger Isles. I was sort of the I took care of the kids in that I trained them in how to fight and just how to protect themselves and such until I was traveling, and while I was gone, the entire family was removed from history, and so I blame myself for not being there, and so now I've come to Dustfall, and I'm sort of just wandered job to job, listless, lost, and I've done jobs with each one of these guys individually, and once they decided to form a crew for this, I decided that I would protect them like I couldn't the family. I'm older comparatively, in my 50s, so I've been around, I've seen some stuff, and I want to make sure none of these younger folks meet the same fate as the Perfingtons.
Well, pleasure to meet all of you. And the last member of our crew is you, the viewer, because by making donations that all goes to Simply Cats, the reason we're doing all this, you can help influence the game, write our story, and contribute. There should be, I don't know which side they're on, maybe there or there. But if you, for $1, you can add a die to somebody's roll, helping them have a better chance of success. For $2, you're feeling frisky, and you can either heal someone or upgrade some of their gear, maybe give them an advancement. For $5, you're really starting to influence the story. With 3 a.m. zoomies, you can advance a clock or add one to the scene, which is some sort of impending doom that we might inflict on everybody. For $10, if you're shelling out 10 whole dollars, you got some options here. You can either make a cool cat of your own, and we'll add an NPC to the scene on the spot, or you can add a devil's bargain, because curiosity killed the scoundrel. So for $10, you can also, the devil's bargain is something about the scene changes, something happens, and everybody has to deal with it. So you directly just write the scene. So that's why I say, you humble viewer at home, thank you for watching and help us make a great story while we save some cats. And I titled this story, Felines and Felonies. Keeping with the TTRPG blank and blank alliteration, we're doing felines and felonies here. And so we set our scene here in Duskfall, this haunted Victorian city where it's always dark, always foggy, lit by these electric lights made from ghost batteries, right? And you guys are gathered at your houseboat on the docks. It's where your crew meets for your in-between scores. And it's been a while since you've been hired. You're a fledgling crew, relatively new, so getting jobs is hard. how might you want to reach out? And you guys, you just told me your desperate plights, right? You guys need money for unimpounding boats and trying to get out of the city and all sorts of different reasons that you guys are hungry for work. How might you reach out and find an employer, someone who's looking to hire you all?
Well, I've got my fingers in several pies, so to speak. I like to go around the docks, hang out in pubs, and just see who talks. Maybe throw down a couple bets here and there and loosen some tongues. I don't really go and search for jobs. Jobs come to me. But I do like to make myself available, so to speak. I put myself in strategic positions where someone might say something that maybe they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think we're heading to the pub then. It sounds like that's where we want to look for some work here. So you enter the pubs. It's by the docks. It's a place you frequent, the Rusty Anchor, we'll say. And always good for a scoundrel like you to network, so to speak. You come in and regulars are throughout the bar, faces you recognize, some you don't maybe, but seems to be that everybody's a little more subdued, hush-hush, than you would expect as you all walk in the door.
Bit of a strange vibe tonight. Awful quiet for a pub, especially on the docks.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a booze bottle.
it happens sometimes.
So you come in, the bartender kind of raises a hand and, what could I get you folk? She says.
Well, maybe you can get us a job.
Oh, you haven't heard. Maybe I'm the first to tell you. The gondoliers were asking for you by name. It's strange when somebody comes in and just starts asking for disappointing children, and the whole bar is like, well, I was once a disappointing child, but I knew they meant you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I imagine
This
you
is
wouldn't-
absolutely terrifying for Jane, who tries her very best to be hard to nail down as a matter of job security. So this is very much concerning news.
Well,
didn't ask for much more detail than that.
All right.
I knew it would pay off putting around those posters advertising disappointing children.
she did what?
You put up posters.
Wait, what? I mean,
I mean, we want jobs, but I don't think putting our names out there with those little tear-off strips is a good idea.
Right, you never know who's going to follow those. Got enough trouble with the blue coats as is. We'll discuss this later.
what's the point of those little tear-off strips anyway? As if there was something you could call somebody on? Doesn't. Maybe I should work on inventing that.
Flashback, I invented the telephone.
Someone
Just that.
donated.
Oh, did they?
Thank you.
Ooh, already.
Hey.
Add
Off to a great
NPC.
start.
Oh,
An NPC.
Oh god.
Ooh, who's about to join us?
oh, and another one.
Oh, wow.
We got
Okay.
feeling
Another one?
frisky.
Ah,
Wow.
I see. Very
Thank
good.
you
Thank
all.
you.
Helping us write this story right from the start. Thank you all so much. Well, we get the details of that. One of the patrons at the bar just says, the gondoliers, they were asking for me. I'm not sure I'd go myself.
Tell me about it, Mike.
Though I did have a cousin that's basement was haunted, and the gondoliers did help clear the ghosts. For a fee, obviously.
Obviously, no one works for free in Duskfall.
Right, but it's what they did afterwards. I mean, it's not the same, the way that they just take that magic. I don't know what kind of foul things they get up to, but it ain't natural is what I say.
Hmm.
There's the NPC.
Got it.
So it seems. Jane
And
gets
Jane
the
gets
healing.
the feeling frisky, so the upgrade or the. So I guess bank that.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
All right.
Right.
There's one thing I know about him, though. I don't know that I'd keep them waiting either.
And I've never met a gondolier I didn't like. But then, up until recently, I was on my own boat.
Well,
Huh.
there we go.
Matter of sample size, then.
Never met a
Whereabouts
gondolier
can
I
we
didn't
find
like, and
these
I've never
people?
liked a gondolier I met. Let's go.
They come in recently, or
Are they here, or should we see?
yeah,
them
are they still
elsewhere?
here?
No. They left a little bit ago. Seemed to be in a hurry. Didn't give it a name, but I imagine if you go to the canals, flagging one down shouldn't take you but so long. Like I said, they were asking for you by name. That I imagine when they see you, they'll know what to do.
All right.
Hmm.
So
Right.
flag down any random gondolier and have a job. Let's see. I've had a lot to drink. Where's the door? This looks like a back room. Oh, hey, what's up, Jerry? We gotta go. There's a job for us. Why am I so tiny compared to Jerry?
Yeah, for some just out of character for a second. One more multiverse tabletop selects short as the default for some reason.
Yeah, I made myself tall.
I think it's canonical that even though you're the father figure,
I'm
right?
a father
You're-
figure, but I'm also a
but-
hobbit.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, let's go with that.
And you're the oldest. You shrank a little bit in your heyday when you stood
That's
up a little
right,
bit
yep.
straighter. Yeah, it happens to the
Exactly.
best of us.
I
Definitely
have a
happened to
lamp.
me.
Let's have
Is-
a lamp.
So is the plan to flag down the next gondolier you see?
I suppose so, unless anyone has a better idea.
Well, I'm already outside, so. I'm not even taller than these orphan children. What the heck?
So you
I'm sorry to take you guys out of it, but I'm just saying.
as you make your way outside, it doesn't take you but a few moments to flag down a gondolier. They're essentially the taxi system, right, of the city going through the different canals and
Mhm.
tunnels. And as you step aboard, he looks over and just says, "Where you go?" Oh, I see. Looks like I get the reward then. I found you.
What's
Let's
this better reward?
well, for first one of us that managed to track you all down, we get a little something extra at the end of the week. And looks like it's my lucky day. Someone's
So
been
things.
asking for you particularly. Has a discreet location to meet outside of prying eyes, both here and in the ghost field. Now, if you don't mind, we have a little bit of travel ahead of us. Make yourselves comfortable, and we'll be there in shortly. And
All right.
So Sir gets in
Start-
and kind of leans back and breaks out a stogie. Decided now he smokes stogies.
Why not?
gondolier starts taking you through the twisting canals of the city and starts to move pretty quickly. I mean, he's just taking that, I don't know, the gondolier stick. I think it has a name, but I don't know it. The big stick that they use and is really putting some hustle in it. And the whole time he's singing idly to himself. La-da-da-dee, la-da-da-do. And
that takes me back. That's a traditional song in the Dagger Isles.
You come from the Isles, friend.
I do.
It's good to see some non-natives here in Duskfall. The diversity is something I appreciate. Spent some time on the Isles as a wee lad. It's good to see you all. La-da-da-dee, la-da-da-do. And the rhythm of his singing and the movement of the waves as he's just keep going, it starts to get a little disorienting. And as you're looking for hallmarks, the bell tower of the city, to try to orient yourself, you could have sworn, shouldn't that have been to the west, not the east? And where exactly are we? You've all spent a lot of time in the city and know it like the back of your hand, or at least think you would. But something about this just feels strange, but not entirely unpleasant. As you continue to make your way through the canals until eventually you start to leave the city proper and seem to go to a very small island, a landmass. And I will teleport us there.
Woo!
Whoa, magic.
Yeah, but it fades and then comes back.
As we warp to the island, where I'm going to add in one of our lovely characters here as well.
The scarecrow's taller than me. It's a monster.
As you come across the island, the first thing you notice is it's dark, right? And everywhere in Duskfall is dark. There's no sun, right? But here, even the electric lights, whatever light pollution comes from the city, seems to not penetrate this island. And you see a hooded figure surrounded by a number of gravestones and a number of cats. Behind him towers a large, seems to be made of rock, and chomping on these luxurious jewels, diamonds, emeralds, onyx stones, and it's just making this crazy loud noise. The cats don't seem to mind. They seem to be comfortable and just kind of stretch out on different tombstones and rocks. And the hooded figure is completely silent as that crunching sound happens behind him. And the gondolier, as you exit the boat, just gives one final nod and la-da-dee, la-da-do, as he pushes off and takes back off. And you're left on this island with the hooded figure. What do you do?
Oh, so it's not a scarecrow. So it's not a scarecrow.
It's not a scarecrow,
No.
it's a man.
Oh, creepy. Well, whatever it is, it's taller than me.
Let's see.
I'd like to just kind of look our hooded friend in the face and just go, all right, then. We're here. I hear you got business for us. Who's your friend?
His name's Porg. He doesn't need to eat, you see, so pretty cheap to keep him around other than the diamonds, jewels, luxuries that it consumes, but never flesh, not once.
I think we've got different definitions of cheap there, right? I don't
Also,
know.
that's a very specific thing to make clear.
Right. Well, at least now you know. But let me introduce myself. After all, I was the one calling for you. The name's Cheshire Bigglesworth. Pleasure to meet you all.
Likewise, I am sure.
And I suppose that you are the disappointing children?
Well, to be completely accurate, we don't actually have a name, but I've called them that enough that it's stuck.
Right. That's sort of what happened with Porg here. I didn't quite know what to call him other than chompers, but it didn't quite seem to fit. And, well, look at him. He looks like a Porg, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he definitely looks like one. That's what I was thinking too.
Sure.
Like when I walked in, I'm like, yeah, that's what he is.
Right.
What?
I see you want to get to business. Is that right? And he looks to you, Caden.
If you don't
And
mind.
your name was?
Jerry.
Jerry, pleasure. And you there in the back, and points to you, Aiden.
They call me by the name Bug.
Bug. Yes, Bug. Yes, Cheshire Bigglesworth. Pleasure to meet you, Bug. And finally, I don't believe I got. Wait, there's several of you. Just why don't you shout your names at me? It'll speed it all along.
Names aren't particularly important, but you can call me Jane.
I will, Jane. I will.
And you can just
Oh,
call me
it-
sir.
Well, yes, sir. I shall, sir. Right, sir.
Going by Rudder for some time now.
Rudder, such marvelous crew you've assembled. Well, I've heard that you are not only discreet, but bold. Some called you moronic, in over your heads, willing to do what no one else would do, and
sounds
yet...
Can I ask who said that? I just gonna jot that down on my notebook real quick. Like,
Well, to be honest, I saw it on some graffitied poster with an LOL sign on it. Most of the numbers were taken off. I didn't quite understand what they meant, but poster graffiti is, if I'm being honest, the Yelp review I found to catch you guys.
there was a
This
Yelp
is
review
fine.
too.
Yeah,
You
Yelp
put it
is
down
the
to the
name of a parrot that flies around. He yelps out things like, "Don't go there! Don't go there! My brain!"
It was bad enough when there was a paper. Anyway,
Right. Business. You all
Business,
wanted
business.
to talk business. Well,
Beeswax.
beeswax. Right. Well, we won't be dealing with bees, but other animals, I suppose. As you can see, I'm somewhat of a cat lover. In fact, I believe that perhaps in a past life, I might have been one myself. But unfortunately, their kind has recently been held captive, trained as ferocious weapons, what with their pouncing abilities and the murder mittens. But they need to be free, I think. They need to be loved. They need to be able to roam and live lives of their own. And yet, a very, very powerful force disagrees with me emphatically. And that's what I need you to change. Do you understand?
Not particularly, but I imagine you're going to go into some slightly more detailed information in just a second.
Right. Not as clear as the name of my friend here. I suppose
Right.
this doesn't look like a we need to rob the Dimmer sisters kind of job, but that's what it is, I tell you.
We need to
Wait.
what?
we need to do
Hold
what
on.
now?
Hold on.
Yeah. Hold up a moment.
No one mentioned
Right.
the dimmers, mate.
But I did just now. And
Yeah.
I believe you're the only crew that, well, daring, bold enough to take on, well, the coven of witches that, well, their secrets and their occult ways. But you all, I mean, when I heard your names, the vibe check that I did seemed to just completely reassure any doubts that I have. And I trust that your doubts will be put aside for the sake of the rewards.
Okay.
Now
let's,
we're talking.
Yeah, let's hear the
Interesting.
rewards. That's a good
What are
idea.
the rewards?
The beeswax, as it were, I suppose.
As it were.
And,
We don't want beeswax.
oh, right. Well, what about this? And kind of gives like an elbow to Porg, who just kind of like mid-chew, just like diamonds just falling out of the corner of his mouth. And
This guy?
yeah, the big stone
The big-
golem.
the golem?
Yeah, just looming and just kind of this whole time has just been crunching on these valuable jewels and gets an elbow from Cheshire there and with one motion just scoops into one of the graves, flings the dirt upwards, revealing just a 6-foot hole in the ground brimming with gold coins, with jewelry, with the most luxurious items you've seen. Certainly something that you wouldn't expect to find in your run-of-the-mill, the docks type hangout, right? This is from White Crown. This is from the more the pricier, richier parts of the city. This kind of craftsmanship, and Porg here's got plenty for his own. And well, he said he would share his private stash with you. It's for the cats, after all. His generosity when it comes to the cats, well, unmatched.
Well, I think our crew, he looks at everyone. We, I think, would not mind a little bit of his generosity. Isn't that right?
Never say no to
What
generosity.
if we take the golem, cut him open, and take the jewels and stuff?
Well, for one, he's made of rocks. For two, he is not. We don't just slice people open. He has done nothing. He is an innocent.
Also, I don't think there would be anything left. He's kind of crunching them up pretty good.
Anyway, you can ignore little friend here. He's a bit knife happy. He's knife big,
What?
brain small. Let's just put it that way.
Little? I'm taller than you. Look how. Wait, why can't I move?
You're
You're moving.
Up there. Look how
there you
big I am.
yeah, but you're emotionally little. Anyway, so
Right.
So you want us to go and steal from the Dimmer sisters for an extravagant pile of gemstones. Did I summarize that properly?
Yes.
That's completely accurate. The attention to detail, I'm already so thrilled with the decision to seek you out.
Right. I do have one small question.
Anything. Any way I can
Are
help.
you out of your flippin' mind?
I've been accused of that before, but I assure you that there's nothing that I wouldn't do to free these furry companions. That I think that it's worth sacrificing a small fortune and all of your lives if it need be.
Well,
Not
what
that
Right.
it need come to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you needed to say that last bit. I think it would have been fine if you had just kind of cut it off on that first part, but we're still in it, right, guys? I mean, it's just stealing. We do that all the time. Dimmer
Sure,
sisters or
whatever.
no. I mean, we stole from Paul that one time. Remember Paul?
Oh,
We're-
Paul.
Well,
That was a
That
handful.
was you? Oh, indeed, did I make a wonderful choice.
So
You know Paul?
I've heard of the heist. Didn't know that, well, it was you all.
all
It
took
certainly
was-
wasn't on the graffiti, and Yelp the parrot didn't mention it at all.
I mean, all it took was 3 ropes and a pistol. So I mean, we can handle this, guys. Come on. I'll
Yeah.
be there to help you.
Oh, but I reckon we can make it work.
The Dimmer sisters may have legend, but do they really have the power that the legends say? I mean, it's nothing but 3 old ladies or something like that, right? They never get seen. It's all rumors when it comes to whatever they might be up to. I doubt it takes you any time at all. But do be careful.
well, either
Right.
the legends are false and we make enough to live the rest of our days in comfort, or the legends are true and we all die.
And we don't have to worry
Either way,
about
we
it.
won't have to worry about anything after.
Right. I am actively reconsidering my life decisions, but I reckon I'm in.
Marvelous. Marvelous, then. Well, then, I will resummon the gondolier to allow you to take your leave when you're ready. Any more questions? Other than that, when you've finished the job, let's just say, I'll know. And you'll be able to flag down the nearest gondolier, return here, and your reward will be kept safe. And Pork takes the mound of dirt and just pushes it back over that grave and starts to stomp it flat.
All right. So you just want us to spring some cats? No jewels, no heads, nothing too particularly complicated.
That's right. And anything else that your sticky fingers may acquire, well,
Well,
no skin off my back if you keep it.
that's part of our fate, isn't it?
But keep the cats?
Well, I suppose that once they're free, if you wanted a furry companion of your own, well, there's no better place to get one. A rescue, as
Okay.
it were.
Yeah, I'll take a cat. I like
Alright.
it.
It's a cat.
That's what they say, I suppose.
Well, I can't resist the long shot. I'm in. How about the
Nothing,
rest of you?
Nothing
Yeah,
to
let's
it
go.
but to do it, right?
All right.
Uh,
Let's make some money.
All right, let's go.
Ooh, money. I'm in.
All right.
Wait, money? I thought it was just a golem.
Gems.
So you know where the Dimmer Sisters manor is. Everybody in Duskwall knows. It's the giant manor in 6 Towers, right? And you also know that you don't see a lot of foot traffic. People generally say that no one seems to come in and out. And if you watch hard enough, occasionally there might be a servant or something that leaves the estate. But certainly the Dimmer sisters themselves have never been spotted in public as far as anyone's aware. But who knows what they look like? So you know where the spot is. How'd you like to do this heist, right? What's the general vibe? If you guys want to acquire information, you can always ask around, throw some weight around, but we're going to do a little bit of recognizance and see if we can come up with the baseline plan of how we want to do this heist. We don't need to plan all the details. That's what flashbacks are for, but we'll get a general sense. And step one is always case the place or acquire information.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that to my expert scoundrels here. How do you want to do this?
I was thinking maybe I can use my hunt to just kind of watch the doors and see like servants or what. If they don't leave, someone has to bring them food and supplies. Maybe get a feel for, is it on a schedule? Who, just kind of get a feel for,
Lunch breaks.
stuff like that.
Right. Well, what also is doing in person, I reckon I'd have someone else do in my stead. I'm gonna look through my old information network, see if anyone's got, I don't know, anything worth mentioning, really. Have a couple of drinks with a couple of people, see what I can't find.
All right. We got one person putting eyeballs on the door. We got one person asking contacts. Anything else anybody wants to do? You don't have to if you don't want to. If this isn't your character's deal, you don't have to force it. But if anybody wants to gather information in any other way, and then we'll do some rolls.
Could I use my tinker to kind of examine like the electroplasmic power going into their house and see if I can identify any like major sparkcraft security measures or anything like that? Any technology they might have that I can detect from the outside.
Absolutely. I like that a lot. I like to picture you wearing like a hard hat and carrying like a clipboard, trying to look like, the normal electrician inspector, like just got to read your meter, but in a more discreet way, from a distance, the neighborhood meter. Yeah, I love that though.
I'm gonna take a guess, since they have like a pretty big like space. There's probably more than one door that we could watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could watch the other door.
All right, you want to look for like a back gate? Yeah, I like that. All right, and what about you, Aiden? You trying to gather some info, or are you going to let everybody else figure out what they can figure out?
I think we'll gather enough info with what everybody else is doing, so I'll just stay back.
Sounds good. All right, let's get some rolls. Let's start with you, sir.
All right.
Roll your hunt. And I just need the highest. 5. Okay. You're in a nice stakeout spot. It's dark, so shadows are abundant, particularly in Six Towers, which always has the creepiest of creepy vibes. It is
Take a
Ghost
sip from
Central.
my flask. It's definitely not water.
Right, exactly. But something to keep you alert, right? Mm-hmm. Help pass the time, because it's a long time that you're sitting there. It's hard to tell exactly days because there's no sun, right? You're posting out, and you're eventually, though, you notice that it seems to be about once a day, more often than you thought, that at least one servant leaves. But you notice that yesterday, or we'll say, give it a day. So we'll say on the final day of your stakeout, you notice that 3 people leave at once, and they all head in different directions of the city. And they're all carrying a number of red envelopes.
Interesting.
And if you'd like, we can kind of put these in order so you can pass that red envelope information along to, as you're putting the word out, Jane. you hear about the red envelopes as you're putting out your feelers. But what skill would you like to utilize to follow up on that lead and see if your contact
This
knows something?
feels almost definitionally like consort. So I actually do have a dot in consort. You may have to remind me exactly how dice rolls work, but I believe that's 3d6?
So if you have one dot in it, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so you'd roll one die. It's per dot. And then you can push yourself if you want more. You can ask for a devil's bargain. Someone could assist, or are different ways to get other dies. This one, we're not, there's no consequence. Like, we're not doing position and effect because this is just a fortune roll. It's just how well does it work, but there's no downside if you roll poorly.
Right. So, no dots, that would be 2d6, discard the highest. One
Yes.
dot is just one straight d6.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
Okay, love that. And then increasing dots, increasing die. Let's see what we got. That is, well, it's a 3.
The
Chatty enough, but no one's telling me what I need to. Guess the
people don't know exactly what the red envelopes are about. The contacts that get back to you the soonest. This is a rush job. You know, your time seems to be of the essence, and so you don't have time to hear back from all of your contacts. But the ones that get back to you are ones from typically the poorer areas of the city, the slums and those sorts of things. And they don't hear anything about red envelopes. So while you don't know where they are going, you can sort of deduce that it seems to be an upper crust of society folks that are receiving these red envelopes. For the fact that you heard nothing actually gave you a bit of information.
fascinating. All right.
All right, and next up, let's see how their electricity is doing. If you want to roll me that tinker.
Sure. Let me and position effect don't matter on these one, right?
Yeah, it's essentially a fortune roll, so it's just a raw answer. Mixed success with a 4.
Good.
You get a sense of you're using the device and trying to get a read on the electroplasm that's going towards powering these the lights, the wards, and there's a lot, right? Particularly for a 6 tower that's normally a lot of abandoned houses. This seems to be the light bulb. This is where all the juice in the town is going, essentially. But you also notice that you can get a read over time, and it seems to be that they're using more and more power recently. It seems that their use is growing, and that's about all you can tell, is that they're using a lot of power, and recently now they're using a lot more. And it seems to be day over day that number goes up, or that amount goes up.
Really?
And last but not least, let's take a peek at the back gate. If you want to pick, what skill do you want to roll, Jerry?
I'll do hunt because I
Hunt?
have 2 dots.
All right, so roll 2d6s and tell me what's the highest.
The highest is 4.
4. Mixed success again. You notice the servants come back in through that door, the back door, that they leave through one entrance and come back in through another to help add to the mystery and throw people off of the comings and goings of the Dimmer sister servants. It seems to be that they don't want to be followed and they don't want to be seen. But when they come back in, their hands are completely devoid of these red envelopes, that they come back empty-handed. So they seem to have distributed them.
Interesting.
And then what do you do? So it seems to be that there's some sort of communication coming out of there. They seem to be ramping up their use of electroplasm for whether it's lighting, whether it's some sort of ward that they're trying to do, but they're increasing their power and they're communicating. with the rich.
Fascinating.
Let's see. I go to the crew when we kind of get back together after doing all of our things. I'm like, so there's those red envelopes. There's something important on there. We need to get our hands on one.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, my network wasn't quite forthcoming, but I can tell you where they're not going. They're not going to the working class. We are looking for people with money. People in your sort of circles, or at least your old circles.
I turn to Bug, and I go, Bug, you're good with ghosts, and ghosts sometimes get into places they're not supposed to and learn things they're not supposed to know. Do you think you might be able to reach out to one and see if we can get something from them?
Yeah, I probably could. Just get me. I'll probably find one around the manor.
That's a good idea.
I love it. Yeah, reach out to that ghost field.
Could I use?
You have compel, wouldn't that work? Your special ability? Would he be able to use that right now?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. It sounds like a great use of compel there to grab from the ghost field a ghost, whether they're willing or not, and get some information from them. So based on that, you're going to roll me an attune roll.
Tune. Where's that at?
If you go to the...
So if you go into the top right corner, the cube on the menu section, there will be a section called roles, and you can select the character and whichever action you'd like.
Okay. All right. I will use study.
Oh, you have to roll a tune, unfortunately. Fortunately. Yeah, because we don't need that one in life. Yeah.
No, that's not ideal.
Yeah, attune is specifically for the compel ability. It's one of the ones where you don't get to just choose whatever you'd like. You have to do attune for that specific action. So yeah, but that's kind of a good thing because you have twice as many dice to roll.
All right.
Ooh, with a 6, a pure success.
Okay.
Let's go.
Love that.
6 Towers is a haunted place, and you are very used to the ghost field and navigating it. And so as you reach out, there are a number of ghosts that you could just snatch out and interrogate. But you find one in particular that seems to be lingering, hiding almost from you. And you're searching through, and these faces are just passing by, just these wisps that have just the barest amount of form to them. But one sticks out in particular, and you reach out and pull them until you're suspended in the ghost field where all the other ghosts are now out of your vision, and you're just staring face to face as you both start to solidify back into the real world. And this ghost is standing in front of you and just says, What do you want?
I need to know what is on those red envelopes.
I see. And then you will let me go?
Yes, I will.
An auction. The sisters, they're holding an auction. The felines that they have captured, they're planning to sell them off in an auction. 2 days. You require an invitation to gain entrance. That's all I know. It's all I've seen. It's all I'll tell. Now let me free.
I let him go after I say thank you for the information.
And with a pure success, you got the information you needed, and the wisp just begins to disintegrate back in the ghost field. As you stand back in the solid world, the ghosts fade into the background, and your attunement dissipates.
Right.
What did
I
you
think
see?
we got another donation.
We did. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Well, that colors things a little bit. So if we're looking at an auction, then it's not entirely out of the question that with an invitation, anyone could walk into the Dimmer Mansion.
Yes, anybody could if you have an invitation.
Yeah. We could try and get our hands on one of those envelopes. We could use this as a distraction and ignore it entirely. However, if the cats, which are our targets, if they're the product being sold, then they'll probably be under quite a bit of observation.
That's true.
Okay. This is an interesting scenario we find ourselves in. We could just try and then sneak in under their noses, quick smash and grab and be out before they know we were even there. Or, if we want to get clever with it, we can try to track down or forge an envelope and just let ourselves in.
I feel like that's probably the cleaner option, since if we don't know what the sisters are like, it's probably a little bit iffy to just go in potentially guns blazing if we get caught.
I do enjoy probable deniability.
If we could get a hold of one of those envelopes, I reckon I could take a gander at making some forgeries.
All right. So we got to find one, and we know roughly what stratus of society they're going to.
Yes.
Sir, do you think that you could potentially locate one?
Oh, well, I've got a bit of experience hunting down things that I'm not supposed to see. I've got a bit of history in those strata of society as well, so I can certainly make a go of it.
All right.
So I guess he's going to go make a go of it.
All right. How would you like to do that?
Oh. Let's see. I mean, obviously...
Not the backseat GM, but this is sounding pretty engagement roll-y to me.
Yeah, I mean, I have hunt, but I don't think that's the best option for this one, unfortunately. Well, I have to find one first. I had it almost sounds like I don't even know. Oh, you know what I'll do? Because I at least have one in it. I'll go to like one of the kind of areas that those types of folks tend to hang out in, and try to convince one of the servants to let me know who might have gotten an envelope. And then I can use sway for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use sway on some of the let's say some guards that hang around White Crown, that you have some connections from back in the day that I think that makes sense. If anyone would like to assist, you can always get an extra die that way.
I would definitely like to assist.
All right.
So I take them with me.
And you can go ahead and Jane, you'll take 1 stress for the assist, unless you want to do spidery things and not do that, I guess. I think that might be one of your abilities.
It is one of my abilities, but I feel like I'm going to save that for some slightly higher stakes.
Perfect. All right, so I get to roll 2 dice on this one, so that helps. It's a 3 and a 2. Can I push myself?
Well, actually, we just got rolling in the cat grass, so that's an extra die.
Oh,
so I
nice.
think that now's the perfect time to use that.
Fantastic.
Roll another one.
Let's do it, because I need it. That's a 5.
All right, much better.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
donating.
This is why the donations matter. See how you changed the story? That was perfect timing.
Oh, and with those donations, we got over 700. Awesome.
Nice.
Let's go.
830 gets us to our next milestone, by the way.
That's awesome. We're making progress, folks.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. And we have some more. I know that I owe a clock to everybody now because it was GM's choice for a clock starting. So I have that brewing in the back of my mind. And I believe that Jerry, you got an upgrade, as well as Jane. I think you got an upgrade. So you can grab a special ability or add a dot into anything you'd like.
Right.
And yeah. But yeah, with that 5, jumping back into the action.
Wait, so I can get another special ability?
Yep, you can either get another special ability or you can add a dot into any skill.
Ooh, okay.
And yes, thank you all for the donations. With that 5, though, you're able to communicate with an old friend, old buddy, and says,
Hey,
well,
Ralph, how you doing?
"Hey, good to see you. Good to see you, sir. I hear that's what you're going by these days, sir.
Well, you know these kids.
Do I ever? Not like it was back in our day. You know what I mean? Nah, but they're good kids for the most part. They're good kids for the most part. What can I say?
I mean, we're
yeah.
disappointing.
Oh, says who? I have some pride, Sonny. Looks like some strapping young lads to me, lads and lasses. But in any regard, I gotta say that.
Did we all go?
What's that?
Did we all come with them?
Maybe, or perhaps I've been taken from the flask. The voices, sometimes they chime in, and but I digress. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't know precisely where the envelope. It's been passed around, traded. It seems like it's almost currency. What I can tell you, though, is that I suspect it'll be used as some sort of wager in their poker game. It seems like it's the kind of thing that would probably make an appearance, if I had to say. Down under the jewelry shop, down on Crook Street, the game that they have, it's still going on. You remember back in the day, we used to joke that one day we'd be playing at them tables, but yeah, they still have it. And if I had my guess, I suspect if you really wanted to see one, that's a spot you might be able to spot it.
Feels like we're building a double heist at this point.
I think so too. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Did we get another donation?
We did.
We did, yes.
Oh, we got
So there's an available devil's bargain if we need it.
Yeah, and I know. Yeah, there's one in the chamber.
So, well, sounds like we're gonna need to go play some poker.
Yay!
So it seems.
That's my vice.
Yeah.
Ew.
So we go back to the crew and we say, this is what I learned from my buddy Ralph. Yep. Sounds like Jerry's like, well, I'm in. Right?
Yeah. That's me.
Interesting.
So
you all know that to get into the poker game, you need a blue envelope. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, for the love.
we need the blue key to get the red key. We need the green key to get the blue key.
Screw this, I glitch out of the world.
Just walk right in the front door. Let's just go to the Dimmer Sister Man and just walk in and see what happens.
No, I think I bet we can get into this game. So
yeah, you know where it is, and we can even say that you remember from back in the day. Hopefully it hasn't changed, but rumor was that the passcode was 9 lives.
9 lives.
So wrestling fans.
Stay tuned tomorrow, and that might come up again in Meowrathon.
It just might. So perhaps feel like maybe if we all go as a group, we might be able to
Win?
it increases our chances of getting our hands on one of those. But we're going to need to pretend that we don't know each other. So we'll need to arrive in a scattered way and perhaps put on some fake mustaches.
Who are you guys again?
Very good.
You mean whose character is whose?
No.
No, he's playing along.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old. I don't pick up on this
Yeah.
Gen Omega stuff.
Genomigo stuff.
So I guess we're going to go play. I'm going to go play poker.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right.
Woo.
Oh,
Are we in the poker place now?
looks like it.
Yes, so we'll say
Okay.
that you make your way to the hidden
Sir.
back entrance of the jewelry store and give the passcode. You stagger your entrances and try to make sure that there's other people between you all entering, but
Wait.
one by
where did
one.
I see it. Is it this way?
No, we're in there. We're already in the place.
Oh, okay. I thought
So.
this was a jewelry store.
We're in the basement of the jewelry store.
Oh, so where's the
Well, we
Yeah,
got to
but-
talk to some folks and figure. So,
this person has a dot dot dot.
all right. So, we all go play poker.
Fun.
Yeah, and you see that there's tables set up and people are placing their bets, like getting chips, making change, and you see that behind the cage, as it were, that there's all kinds of jewelry, watches, briefcase that you assume is probably filled with money, and you do notice there is a red envelope behind the
There it
cage.
is. I mean,
Ah,
points his head at it and then nods.
I completely ignored this.
He's pretending like he's cracking his neck.
All right. I'd like to make a note of the password so that at a later date I can come in and fleece this place for all it's worth.
That's definitely worthwhile, as long as no one gets
And
hurt.
we'll say that this civil clerk 3 here, that's going to be our cage guy, cage person. So they're blocking this room here is what we're using right now for the cage where all the goods are stored.
Got it.
I see.
All right. So, hello, sir. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. What could I do you for? Would you like some chips?
Yeah, I feel that it would be nice to chip in.
Right. Well then, how much would you like? And I'll take whatever money or collateral you have for safekeeping. I assume you'll be getting it back with much, much more with your good luck, sir.
I'm certain of it. He puts
Yep.
on his fake mustache, twirls it a little. He's already got a beard and mustache too.
Has he put a
Not really.
fake mustache on top of the real mustache?
Yeah.
I love it.
And so what does he need to ante for that? How are we gonna play that game?
We'll assume that you all have enough for a very low level bet. It's essentially you've pooled your life savings and it'll be all the money you have
We
to
get it
your
all back,
name.
guys. We get it all back.
But yeah, that's the gist is you all would have to put in everything you own to get the ante that you would need for it to all play.
Got it.
I see.
Okay.
So we do the thing.
Yeah, and he, looks at it, inspects it with like one of those like jeweler's lenses and make sure your money's real, and then said, right then, oh, here you are, and in turn hands you each a small stack of poker chips.
Excellent. All right.
Very
So which room can we find this fine game in?
Right. There'll be games throughout the parlor here, but I believe that the main event, so to speak, will be happening in the upper chamber. And feel free to sit down at any table, and, the grand prize will be awarded to whoever has all the chips at the end. You can cash out at any time, but for the real stuff, bring me a sizable amount and we can haggle.
Got it. Chuck E. Cheese rules. Let's go, guys.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I guess
As it is,
so
I would like to just sort of theatrically bump into Sir and just like make a show of, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Let me help you with that. Would it be easier just to smash and grab and get out of here?
Do you want all the blue coats on our tails?
Well, not particularly, but
Isn't this an illegal
Or
poker game?
worse? Then that's probably worse.
point
Well,
made.
if it's an illegal poker game, why would the blue coats? Why would they
it's-
report anything to the blue coats?
Well, I think knowing how this kind of stuff works, I think I'd rather have the blue coats on us than what could be then.
Fair point.
Wait, so the room is right here.
Use a little bit of the theater of the mind.
Yeah, it's roughly there, but yeah, it's not. There's no actual poker table to see.
So I think it might be better to, and then on top of that, you might draw the attention of the sisters if we're not careful.
Ooh, right. I didn't even consider that.
We found out the envelopes here. I'm sure they also know.
I'm sure.
Um,
Would it be possible to roll study just to see if there's anyone here who looks like they might be a dimmer spy?
I have one study.
How many studies do I have?
I have one.
I could lead a group action.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Uh-huh.
Is if you want to lead a group action,
This kinda
everybody rolls
works.
and we'll see who spies what.
and this was study.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Or perhaps survey.
That would be better for me. I'll tell you that much.
Same for
But
me.
it's group, so it's really just.
Ooh, I have
but-
two
but
studies.
we take stresses if we fail too, right?
The group
I
leader
take
will
stress.
take stress.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep. So
Got it.
they're taking all the risk, but we take the highest of all. So you get a lot of dice rolls, but we also count all the failures.
Copy that.
I have two studies.
All right, 2 dots in
I
study.
think, yeah, we can go with study. I can make this work. I'm sure.
All right.
And I think that when you roll that, Sasha, that it'll roll everybody. So it should just
that
automatically
appears
tell
to
us.
be the
Yeah.
case.
So you're
Okay.
making one big. All right. So you took 2 stress from that as our eyes are darting, everybody's eyes are darting around, and you quickly notice that some people are grabbing just a little bit too much attention, and you sort of like go over to smooth it over and try to be like, oh, no, look over there, and nudge your friends to make them stop looking over there, look over, It's stressful, but you did get some 6s in there, so you do succeed. You notice that there's no one stands out as a dimmer sister spy, but there seems to be somebody who's clad in spirit ward charms, and they seem to have a very dimmer adjacent vibe to them, but you don't get the idea that they're on the payroll, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay.
Could
And
talk.
they're sitting there and kind of like fiddling nervously with a stack of poker chips, kind of like just moving them around in their fingers and just kind of like playing with the poker chips. Seems like a little nervous.
Interesting.
Who
I
has the
wonder-
best consort of our group?
That would probably be me. Potentially. I have 1 dot.
I have 0.
I have
Alright.
What I do want to ask, is consort the best fit, or would sway be a better
I guess
fit?
what are you trying to do? Yeah.
Yeah, and it would depend. Consort would be more like we're chums playing poker together. Let's get more of a empathetic or sympathetic vibe going between us, whereas sway is more schmoozing, smooth talk, that sort of thing. I don't need to have a connection to you, but I can just try to get what I want from you.
Okay.
But both are completely valid options for social encounters.
I happen to have 2 dots in sway, which would be my highest. So if that is the direction we go, I am certainly a candidate for it.
What other ones could we use? because I might have higher in other ones.
I don't know if anyone has any command. I don't, but
I
you
have
could just.
1 in command,
Yeah.
I have 0.
but I feel like this guy's sitting over there. Well, command could be good because he can use it to intimidate, and if someone's already and intimidate doesn't necessarily mean like angry. It can just be like I've kind of got this aura of
Right.
That is sounding good.
because we're at this point we're trying to figure out why this guy's acting kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh.
going to take advantage of
Oh.
the clock that was started by one of our lovely donors. The increased Annie clock is going to be the pressure of the game as people start to play and lose out. They start to get more grumpy. The whole situation seems to be more tense, and other people are more celebratory. But the tension of the room, so to speak, will make it harder perhaps to sway and consort your ways with the winners, losers, high emotions, that the scene is getting progressively more tense, we'll say. And that's at 1 of 4 right now, and will increase based on your actions.
So Sir goes to Jane and goes, I feel like he just needs an ear to bend, don't you think?
I think that might be a good idea. And I'd like to just sort of cock my tie a little bit and grab myself a bottle and sit down next to him and just play the part of, ooh, his first game. You nervous? I am.
You got a lot riding on it. What can I say? But if I win, it'll all be worth it. The work I could do, it's always got to be about the work.
Always got to be about the work, man. I know what you mean. I'll win this. I get a. Well, let's just say that a lot of my troubles go away. Hey, but seems like you might be playing with money that's a bit more dangerous than mine.
Everything's dangerous, right? I mean, but
everything's dangerous in Duskfall.
But the work I could do would be so good. I'm a therapist, you see. Name's Mel. We're not supposed to give names. Sorry, first time here. Please don't tell anyone.
Tell anyone what?
Thank you. Right. But yes, I work with. I'm a therapist by trade, but the interaction between the psyche and ghosts, there's so much to uncover there, and well, that's what the winnings would go towards. When I get them, have to think positive.
All right. Out of just my experience in Duskfall and my general information network, would this person's work be significant enough that I would have already heard of it?
Roll a d6.
Ooh, very good.
Just 1d6.
Just 1d6. All right.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. 4.
4. The person's name, Mel, was probably not the name that they would have published under. Probably a last name, right? That they would have published under. That being said, the idea of ghost and psyche is pretty cutting edge stuff. It rings a bell, but you don't necessarily know like the thesis that this person wrote necessarily. Right. But sounds familiar.
Read papers, not bylines.
Right. There you go.
All right. Interesting.
Now, I know you already said you could keep a secret, but the big reason I'm here, if I'm being honest, I just have to get it off my chest. I hear that there's an envelope you can get that'll actually allow you inside of Dimmer Manor. Can you believe it?
Inside Dimmer Manor? I didn't think they'd let anyone inside. They're so secretive.
This is the one chance I get. I don't really know what the event is, but if I could just be inside of there, I just imagine that what I could learn, what I could see, what I could feel.
Goodness,
I hope I win. I will win. Gotta think positive.
Gotta think positive. How do I subtly convey to Sir that I don't think this man is too much of an asset to us at this point?
Gender, hard to say. Non-binary.
Gender, hard to say. Okay. This person, as it were. I'd like to just sort of Oh, hang on. We have a mechanic for this. Flashback 5 minutes
There you
ago.
go.
There it is.
Yes.
We have arranged a signal where I just sort of adjust the collar on my shoulders like this. I don't think we're gonna get much out of them. Not a threat, but not necessarily an asset.
Good luck to you, though. But more luck to me.
Good luck to you as well. I hope to see you at the big table. Hey,
You too.
I'm just going to walk off like I've just wasted 10 minutes.
Sir, Silverman goes, I think it's time for us to start sitting at some tables and seeing what we can do.
It seems that way. All right, let's get to work.
So is the idea you want to play it straight? Do you want to try to cheat? Do you want to... We're going to
Cheat.
kind of abstract some of this into some
think,
big roles. But
yeah, I
what's
feel
the
like
general vibe?
some of us might try to play it straight, while others are definitely not. Not.
Well, I don't think I've played an honest hand of poker in my life.
Me neither.
So what we'll do is everybody will make one roll that'll be your gambling ability, right? If you'd like to cheat in some way, it's going to be a risky standard roll. And we're going to just take your highest and assess that. If you want to play it straight, you're going to roll 1d6 as a pure luck roll, but it's a fortune roll, so nothing bad happens if you roll poorly. It's just luck wasn't on your side tonight, and you lose. But if you want to cheat, it's a risky standard because there's a chance of negative consequences.
Right.
And you can pick any ability you'd like for how you would like to cheat or play this out. But that's the option I give to each of you.
Wait,
I'd like to roll sway and just kind of control the conversation in such a way where I'm actively reading people's actions and reactions and how they interact with each other. And I'd just like to use that insight to intuit what cards they may have and act accordingly. Not
like
necessarily.
That's it. I don't think you're cheating
odds.
necessarily. So I think that we'll say
Just
that
counting cards.
Yeah.
right, just playing smart poker, right? Reading the room, reading the table. That I think will change your position, or your position from risky to controlled. That if something goes poorly, it's just, hey, that guy is counting or that person is counting cards, Jane's counting cards, and that sort of thing. So. Right. So the consequences, maybe you get kicked out of the game with whatever winnings you have, but they're not going to take it too personally. So yeah, you can do that as a controlled standard roll for sway.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are we doing like if I can convince you that whatever I'm doing would work, then I can use it?
That's the game.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait
So
your turn.
I'm
Wait
gonna-
your turn. Wait your turn.
So we'll hold on to that. I'm gonna go each, like, remember your roll 6 in this case, Jane. But we're gonna go each and each. But that's good. You're off to a good start and quickly start to get the vibe of the room. And yeah, we're kind of montaging this, but we'll jump over. And Jerry, what's your plan? How are you playing cards tonight?
Okay, so I'm gonna use hunt and gather information about people to make them nervous so they do bad.
All right. I like that a lot. Yep. I think that's a risky standard. Being a little too aggressive could get you in a little bit of trouble. So there's a potential risk factor here, but you're good at this, I think. So you're willing to take that risk and make it happen.
Okay, so I roll my dice.
Yes. And so it's, you said hunt?
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be 2d6.
Wait, 2? I thought I had mine for 3. Hold on.
You did get an upgrade. If you want to bump that up to 3 right now, that's fine.
That's true. We did get another donation.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll
it can
do
be
that.
3.
Dang.
Could be.
All right.
And then we just care about the highest. So roll 3 and just tell me what the highest number you ever rolled was.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're staring people down and you notice they're staring back at you. That this is a little bit more, these people have money. They're a rough and tumble crowd if they're playing at this game. It's a little bit more street than you expected when you came in here based on how everybody was dressed, but you're able to hold your own with them. You're making your way through the tables. You're down at some points and you'll make a risky bet and give a growl and somebody will fold and you'll take the pot and then they'll do the same back to you, that you're kind of breaking even, but you haven't been eliminated yet.
Okay.
And next we'll do, Sir, what's your strategy?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I'm going to see if I can use my finesse. I'm going to kind of just try. I want to be really good at bluffing and just because we're just trying to get to the final table at this point, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm just trying to get everyone to fold so I win by default. You know, just trying to bluff them out.
Yep.
Just to get to the table.
Good, very good.
Remind me how a devil's bargain works.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if you would like an extra die, you can't push yourself when you take a devil's bargain, but if you'd like an extra die without taking any stress whatsoever, something about the scene will change. And we have a great offering that I think works really well for the poker table, that if you'd like to take a devil's bargain, in exchange, you'll get 1 die added to your roll. You go monotone for the rest of the game, that you lose the inflection on your voice, that your poker face starts to just consume your personality.
That's where my mind was going. So,
So it's perfect. And that was
all right.
from a donor well before we ever had poker named. So it just
Yeah,
worked
it
out
works out.
perfectly.
All right. So,
Very good.
so
Very
that'll
good,
give
very-
me 2 dice on the finesse.
Perfect. And I think it's a risky standard. We'll just keep some risk involved.
Yeah,
It's more fun.
There still is. All right, let's see if we can do this. Can I try again? I got 2 1s.
No,
Ooh.
because that's a fail there.
That's a serious hardcore ouchie.
Yes,
Now
it is.
remember, I'll describe the consequence. I'm going to save the 1 the same way we saved the 6 that we rolled so far. So, but remember that when we get to the consequence of that, you can always resist. It'll be stressful, but you can always resist. But we'll put a pin in that as we jump over.
Son of a bitch.
Aiden, how you playing poker tonight?
All right. So could I use a tune to communicate with ghosts to like tell me the table's cards?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's a
God,
good.
I
Yeah.
love whispers.
That's super good. Yes, I love that a lot. That's a really good way to
Lucky.
cheat. So risky standard, and you can go ahead and roll that a tune roll for me.
Okay.
6. Yeah,
Mm.
but you notice in the process, you notice that somebody else is trying a similar strategy, but you're able to outmaneuver them. You notice Mel, the therapist, getting more and more fidgety, but your ghost work is better than their ghost work. And they start to be really low on the chips, but you're making your way up, and we'll save the actual success of that. But I did want to add that Mel is losing right now, but you're going to be winning. So we'll hold that as the 6. And then finally, Jonathan, how are you playing poker tonight?
Are there like croupiers dealing, or is it like is a deal going around the players at the table?
It's they have designated dealers that seem to be similar to the guy at the cage, that seem to be employees or staff of whatever this is, whoever's organizing this.
I doubt they'd let us touch the cards in the game.
Yeah, they're very protective and very casino like demeanor about them, very professional, but they do all the touching of the cards and anything that really matters. But it doesn't mean you can't get your hands on them in some other way. I mean, there's always ways to one up them. Yeah.
Always ways.
I was wondering if I could take a croupier's place. Like, do they seem to take breaks at all?
All right,
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can flashback and if that helps you in any way. Maybe you already planned that this was going to be part of the plan. If you want to flashback and set that up for yourself. But yes, I think that trying to take the place, there's going to be some dice rolling involved, but I think that's a very valid strategy. How do you want to set this up?
Yeah, I'll flash back to watching the croupier earlier go to take a break. Looking for one that looks really tired. Follow them out, and just sort of be like, "Can I assume that I have like a coin or two on me?"
Yeah, we'll say you have like half a coin, like just the bare minimums of scrapings. Unless, I guess this would be before the ante. If you want to say this is before you anteed up.
Pocket change.
Okay, yeah, just kind of like offer a coin's about a day's wages, so maybe like half a coin.
Yep.
We got another rolling in the cat grass, just FYI.
That's right. You do have another die at your disposal should you need it.
Ooh. I might, because I was gonna consort, which I only have one in.
You got two now.
Just be like,
Yeah.
hey, if you want, I'll pay you, and I can take over for the rest of the night for you.
All right, let's roll that consort with the extra donated die. Thank you.
This is such a long shot. Hey, stranger, I understand that I'm a complete stranger to you. How about I do your job?
And this is certainly risky standard. Let's just go right down the middle.
You certainly don't care about your job that much. You're just here for money, right?
Exactly. Well, what's the worst that could happen?
This is why you pay your staff, folks, so they can't be bribed easily.
Okay. And adjustments, plus 1D. There it is.
Yep.
Do I want to? No, I'll leave it.
Okay. Partial success.
Double fours.
Tell you what, buddy. I mean, if I'm not back by the end of the night, they'll have my head. But I mean, if you want to, whatever you got to do is your business. But if you want to take over for a couple hours, as long as you're back by, in a couple hours, we could switch back. But can't do much longer than that, or, well, I'm gonna have to say you robbed me and stole it.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah. Thank you. Quickly do like the swap, and you don't have the whole night to be disguised, or without him at least coming in and making a scene. But you have a little bit of time in disguise.
Okay. Go back in, find a table of one of our friends, and try to deal them better hands than they would normally get. Can I argue Tinker for that, or do you think finesse is probably the...
I'll tell you this. You can do Tinker, but it'll be a limited effect unless you want to push yourself. But it'll be a limited effect, which means that you can... The mechanics of cards would be less familiar to you than the actual physical mechanics, right? So you can't cheat a lot, but you can help maybe do a double draw off the top of the deck every now and then. So it's not like a huge amount of influence if you want to use Tinker. If you want to use Finesse, it would be a standard effect, so it would have more impact. But that's the trade-off there.
Okay, I think I'll just use Finesse and push myself for an extra die.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I can find Finesse. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get the extra die anymore. I'm gonna push myself. Okay.
Ooh.
Boom.
There's 6. Nice.
The cards are not the same as mechanics, but they are certainly a manipulable object, and your fingers with their dexterity are able to double draw, underhanded draw, all sorts of cool poker names, trick names that I don't know off the top of my head, but you know how to do them, and that's what matters. And you'll be able to keep in the game Bug, or who had the 1? I forgot. Who had a 1?
That would be Sir.
Yeah, I had double ones.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's what it was. So yes, Sir, you are kept alive, by the quick introduction.
Literally.
Oh, thank
Yes.
goodness.
But with that, we have the four of you who were playing the cards have all made it to the final table. Jerry, you are running low on chips that you'll maybe only have one hand unless you get lucky. The rest of you, you're doing well, that your strategies were able to take control of the room. And simply put, though these people are a little bit more rough and tumble, this is a street game at the end of the day, and you know how to play street games. It's not about luck. It's not about cards. It's about winning, and that's something that you all do well. You're at the final table, and how would you, let's say it's down to, we're going to bump the increase ante clock up for that failure, that the double ones, although you're kept in the game, that critical failure there is going to increase the ante. That one more thing and the scene may erupt, right? It's tense.
Not a single person folded, despite my best efforts.
You're down to the wire, and though at the final table, you make up a majority, that there's only two people left. Mel is eliminated, unfortunately.
Aw, Mel.
But there's an older gentleman with a bowler hat and a goatee. And then there is a younger man that is wearing like a hood over his head and looks very shadowy, dark rogue type. But they're the final two. And then the four of you who are playing, you have maybe another hand or two with this disguise before you'll probably have to go make that trade-off. But you have a time to make some kind of influence while you still have that disguise. How do you want to win this? Let's make one big plan to once and for all. How are we going to get this win here?
Well, as far as I understand, only one of us needs to win, strictly speaking. So I'm not actually going to play the hero in this scenario. I'm going to make sure that someone else can win. So I'll be the safety net.
Okay, that seems fair.
Okay.
I'll use my last moments with the disguise to try to sabotage the other two players.
Okay,
yeah. So not to help your friends, but hurt their opponents. I like that as a strategy.
And I'm going to lean into my monotone and just make them so, like, uncomfortable because they're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? That they lose focus on what they're doing. They're like,
lull them into that false sense of security. They can't tell when you're bluffing, and the drone starts to make it hard to tell when anybody's bluffing. It's just kind of this like
it's like when like that fluorescent light above you is just doing that hum.
Oh,
and then your voice becomes that hum.
Yeah, exactly.
And Aiden, are you utilizing your ghost still, or how are you playing this? You did really well, and you're at the final table as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep using my ghosts.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
think
reason
that
not to.
Ooh, our clock is at 3 out of 4.
Yep.
yes,
yep.
it is.
So this is going to be. We're going to go first. We're going to go with Jerry. Roll me a d6 to see if you stay in the game.
That's
1d6.
all just a D6.
Yep, just give me 1d6, and we're going to see if you stay in.
I got a 4.
4? Yeah, with the help of your friends, you managed to stay in the game. Next, Jane, give me 2d6 to see if you can eliminate one of the opponents from the game.
2d6. All right. Let's see what. Let me just load these up. See what we got. That's a 4 and a 3.
Yeah, you can. You take one of them out, but the other one remains. Aiden, see if your ghost can help you knock this person out. You can roll. You would now have numbers certainly on your side with the remaining people. Give me 3d6 to see if you can knock out this last person.
Nice.
Oh, 1 second. How do I add dice?
There should be a thing at the bottom for adjustments. Yep.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me roll.
Oh, so I'll switch it to a fortune roll.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
Yeah, that's how you can just
Okay.
roll plain. Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
5. Yeah.
right.
So who do you want out of your crew? You can make the final move and play Kingmaker. You want to make sure that you all can't win, right? Somebody has to be the winner. Who do you
someone
pick?
has to win.
Yeah, who's the on paper face of the winner? Because you guys don't know each other as far as anybody else is concerned.
I don't know who you are. I'm trying to win my envelope.
I'll
So
win.
yeah, I'll
And
let Sir win. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Sounds
team
like
knows. Yeah,
He knows the most poker.
the experience comes back to you as it seems that folds happen right when they need to happen to ante in that last all-in bet, and you manage to take the pot. Yeah, you sweep it in, and the older gentleman from the cage comes rushing in. Congratulations, sir! Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Yes. I suppose you'll be wanting your earnings now.
That would be great. Can we go check it out?
Yes. Come with me. Come with me. And leads you into the back room. Only you. The rest of not going to
I
show
make
off.
a show of throwing my drink and storming out.
Right. Yeah. I got to play off the so close to winning it all. And
Well, that's my
Casino is a prison on the planet bullshit.
And we'll assume that in the distraction of the moment here, that you're able to make that switch of the disguise back when everyone's celebrating, no one's paying attention to the dealer anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a perfect opportunity to make that switch. But sir, you're brought to the back room, and now then we can do this in a number of ways. Certainly, artwork is a favorite.
That's very good. Yeah.
Cash is always king, as they say, but we do have some more unique offerings. Occult booklets, information perhaps that you might seek, or, well, if you would like an invitation to similar games, more discreet is an option, or perhaps if you have a taste in illicit goods, a marketplace could be arranged. If you seek something more unique, all you would have to do is ask, and I assure you it could be arranged.
I really like the color red.
Right. I believe I understand what it might be that you're implying, sir, and reaches behind him and grabs the envelope off the shelf. Is this the shade that you prefer, sir?
That is the perfect color.
Oh, excellent choice, sir. And I love that I can call you sir. That's your name, and he's been calling it,
Yeah,
but doesn't know.
beautiful.
Yeah, right, sir. Excellent choice, and what a good one it is, and all yours, discreet, and no one will ever know where you procured it from. I assure you.
I appreciate it. And I slip him a couple extra tokens if I have them as like a tip.
Yeah, and you do get a large briefcase of cash as well.
Oh,
That's
there you
just
go,
you get your money back plus
Carry on,
and then
yeah.
a reward on top.
I do that whole thing where, you put the shoulder and pat him on the chest, but then I've slipped a little in the front pocket.
Yeah.
Certainly hope your luck persists and we see you again next month, sir.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
With that, oh yeah, I forgot that you're completely monotone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Normally, folks are much more excited when I bring them back here. I can see this is perhaps maybe too much to drink, sir. Your emotions are subdued, but in any event,
You have no idea how happy I am. This is the most excited I've ever been.
Right, sir. Of course, and
Of course.
it beams from you, emanates. I say. In any event,
I'm absolutely glowing.
Oop, my camera's gone again.
and with
How
that,
dare it just leave?
How strange. Keeps doing that.
And with that, you have secured at least one invitation. Trying to be conscious of time. I assume the plan from now is to forge several more of those.
Yes.
Wait, I have an idea. One
Okay, what is-
person gets in. They go to a window, slip it through the window. The next person gets in with that, and then
See-
that just going on.
I had a very similar idea because I assume the dimmers know how many envelopes there are, or they should be in circulation.
That's a fair
So
point.
it makes sense if we have our man on the inside let the rest of us in so that we may have free reign while they control the situation of the auction.
Mhm.
Because the Dimmers are scarily smart people, and I think that if we just all showed up with our own invitations, it wouldn't take very long for them to clock that some of us shouldn't be there.
That's fair.
That's true.
So someone let us in the back door.
Exactly.
Right.
And I feel like who goes in, unfortunately, should have a pretty good way with people.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
All right, are we sending Jane in alone with the rest of you lying in wait to find an opportunity to join the scene? And we'll assume we don't have to come up with it. We assume that you have plans like signals and flashbacks are
Right.
absolutely a way we can work this without having too much prep. And Caden, another upgrade for you. If you want to add another dot or grab another special ability. From you, Jane, I'm going to require, and 2 more cat grass. So that's 2 more extra dice we can add in. But from you, Jane, I'm going to need an engagement roll.
Ooh, I get
So,
to do the engagement
yeah,
roll.
you're going to
Fun.
be kicking us off.
Okay, would you call that a fortune roll then?
That's it. Yep. And
Okay. So let me
you're
see if I
gonna
remember how
see.
to do this. 1d for sheer luck.
1d for each major advantage.
and you have the invitation. So that's
You
certainly
have an invitation.
major advantage.
And friends or contacts provide aid. I think they already have. Particularly bold or daring. Again, this is all off the top of my head, so do stop me if I'm at all wrong. I would give that a yes because this seems near suicidal.
Does the
All
plan's
right.
detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
And in this case, I
I'm saying
think
no.
I think it does the vulnerability part
Do you?
because they're
Okay.
letting people in voluntarily if they have what you have. So I think that this is the weakness is that they're not having their normal guards around and things like that. And if you have the invitation, that they're going to not be too scrutinizing.
And Jerry
All right.
detected like a back door or something too, right? Something a
Yeah,
little more out
you
of
guys-
sight as well.
That's true. Jerry's been watching the back door for like 48 hours now.
Yes, yes, and scouted out the front door. So just the
And
whole
scouted out the front
layout,
door.
the layout is well known, entrance, exit. So yeah, I think you can
Very
definitely
good.
take that.
Okay, 4d6. One of these ought to be good. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's 5 mixed success. There's nothing
Yep.
wrong with that. That's how it gets fun, right?
That's the majority of the game, yeah.
You are passing through, and it's the day of the auction, and you've looked at the invitation. It has the details for how to arrive, how to present your invitation to the guards at the door. That each invite only admits 1 is clearly indicated on there. But you show up with your invitation, and there's a number of well-dressed people. And the Dimmer sister, their whole street is normally completely empty, right? There's just no traffic, no reason for anyone to really be going there. But today is a little bit different. There's activity, hustle, bustle. When it gets to the gate itself, though, people are much more organized. People are lining up single filed. There's a hush. The severity of this is not lost on anyone. And you give your invitation when it's your turn in line. You give your invitation. The guard is wearing just a mask over top of a hooded figure with a mask covering their face, and they look at and they're scrutinizing heavily on this piece of paper. But then they hand it back to you and move out of your way for you to enter. As soon as you get inside that door, the atmosphere changes for you as this woman is just like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe where we are?" And like looks to you as just the person who happened to be following right behind there. "I mean, I'm telling you, I never thought that I would be standing here."
Yep. Much the same. I hear the dimmers are so secretive. I never imagined I'd actually get this close.
I mean,
exciting,
how
isn't
much of a secret can it be if everybody knows their name and everybody knows their deal? All I'm saying is they really a secret?
Well, you'd be surprised what you can hide when people think they're in on the joke, ma'am.
Suppose you're right. My name's Hi. How is you?
Jane, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Jane. Well then, suppose that we want to get in on the big auction, right?
That's why we're here.
How many you planning to buy?
Oh, depends on what we've got on the block.
Oh,
Quality over quantity, you see.
oh, that's not my strategy. I want 6.
Oh, goodness. That's mighty ambitious of you.
Well, not every day you get the opportunity. Want to make the most of it.
No, I suppose not. Suppose you got a point.
Well then, suppose I'll leave you to it, but if you see me bidding, why don't you back down? Just saying, I got the capital to make this happen tonight.
I certainly know when I've been beat. And I'd like to file this person away as someone who seems volatile enough to serve as a distraction if necessary.
Mm.
They feel
Yeah.
like the kind of person that I could push in just the right way to cause a hell of a scene.
I can speak from experience that Hey will do that.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
I've learned that Hey is a real life cat. And
Yes.
Alrighty then.
But you're inside. There did seem to be a little bit of attention drawn just by Hey's loud outburst. Seemed to come out of the calm of everything, that you got a little bit of like side eye from some people.
Mm.
A little bit more attention than you would have wanted, trying to get other people in with you, right? But nobody said anything. It's just people are wondering, like, what's their deal? What were they so tittery about?
Right. What am I looking at layout wise?
Yeah, let's go to the Dimmer Sisters Manor. That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
And we're going to take everybody knowing that most of the crew is lying somewhere. We don't know where, but they know where they are.
I'm
But,
outside whatever window or whatever we're going to be using, just
Yeah.
sipping from my flask, singing a song of my people. La da 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 la da 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 da. La,
So
da,
is
da,
the
da.
actual I assume there's an area of which it's made clear that we're allowed to be. Is that inside the building? Is it a foyer or is it kind of a courtyard scenario?
So it's the manor exterior has this like courtyard that you see on the screen now. It's populated right now with a lot of the nobles who are coming in, well-dressed folk who are in front of you in line. There are double doors that seem to lead into the main manor, and people are entering after they, do their socializing, shake the hands they need to shake outside. They make their way one at a time or a couple at a time into the main manor. There are a couple side doors that have guards in front of them. There are 2 guards stationed outside of the front door. And then there is sort of like, if you were to go alongside the house, there's a gate that leads to where like the back entrance is, but it's very close to the guards who are guarding the other doors, but no one's guarding the gates themselves, but it's very close to the other guards.
Okay. And I'm assuming from wherever they're perched, the rest of the crew can see this, a sort of Overwatch scenario. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. You guys, there's a lot of buildings around. I mean, it's 6 towers, and this is one of the towers, but there's 5 other ones that, going up to one of the abandoned ones. The Rowan Tower hasn't had anyone in it in a while, and that, right? So they're up. Perhaps we can always change it if you want to flash back to, I'm actually not there. That was our decoys, but we'll assume you're somewhere where you have a good vantage point of this.
Okay. So I'm not entirely sure offhand, not necessarily know what to do, but I think the best thing to do in this scenario would just be to kind of mill about and act normal, sort of I've had my envelope. I'm just as confused as everyone else here. I know roughly why we're here, but not necessarily what to expect. So I'm going to play the part of maybe moderately impatient, but willing to wait for the dimmers out of respect and maybe no small amount of fear for the dimmer name. But in doing that, I would like to roll another survey and just see if there is any, not necessarily obvious, but any that my practice eye blind spot will spot.
All right, let's see it. Risky standard.
Risky
Some will say it's
standard
risky
indeed.
because you're peeping around too much. You look like you already had a little bit of attention.
Right.
So we'll say that's the
And I'm
risk.
strictly. Oh, that is not ideal.
The as you're peeking around and trying to look for an opening, maybe you even had an idea planned or something, but you're scoping around.
Spend a stress to help?
Yeah, but yeah,
Ooh.
I didn't really give everyone an opportunity, but yes, if you can describe to me how you're assisting, you may assist, and you'll take one stress in the process.
Because you're trying to figure out a way to let us in, so maybe I, from the outside, could have like found something and just like throwing rocks at the window or whatever I need to do to get Jane's attention.
So yeah, you may
Right.
roll an additional die, and we'll add it.
God dang.
Oh.
But I will say we have 2 banked extra die that we can
Oh.
keep playing this
Oh,
game
do
all
we?
night.
True.
Yeah,
I take
so-
2 stress for helping, right? Or just 1?
one for helping, 2
Got it.
for pushing
2 for
yourself,
pushing,
1 for
that's what it
assist.
was. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm gonna re-roll 1
Yeah.
Okay.
because at this point it's more of self-preservation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Mix is
All
better
right.
than fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Mix is better than fail.
You're peering around and you lock eye contact with the guard. We'll say it's the guard here on the east side. And they're like, "Keep your eyes in your head, sir."
Okay, firstly, I'm a woman. Thank you.
Oh, sir was the other character. I mean, I've heard of this guy, sir. Troublesome sort.
Do I remind you of someone?
Right. I suppose so. Long ago, used to work with my buddy Ralph. But any event, it's my job to keep everybody on the straight and narrow.
Understandable, and I will thank you to keep your comments to yourself.
Of course, my apologies.
And with that, I make a show of storming off, trying desperately not to let off how terrified I am and how close that got. Just,
But you switched it around, and they were talking to an established person out of turn, and you reminded them of their humble upbringings with their old friend Ralph and his friend Sir. That you've gotten most of the heat off of you from this particular guard for the moment, but there we go. It's what it's all for, folks. Donate to save the kitties.
Yeah.
Love them.
But you have avoided the gaze, but didn't necessarily get too much further towards the goal. The rest of you on the outside, we can again assume that there might be some sort of plan here. How would you you don't have a great opening at the moment, but that what are you doing to help facilitate getting inside?
We appear to have lost Aiden.
Oh.
Would it be I know we're at a certain time. Like, do we want to take a quick break and
Yeah,
see
let's take
if
a
Aiden comes
tenor.
back?
Yeah, we can take a
Give him
tenner.
give him a chance. All right, guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a 10
Oh,
minute.
hold on.
Oh.
We've been rated.
We were?
The party of 9. Yes.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you. So focused on here, I didn't even notice. Did it just happen?
Wait, what
Yeah.
happened?
We got rated.
What
Well,
does that
welcome,
mean?
guys. Please stick around. I know you showed up right when we're about to take a short break, but when we come back, this is like
Wonderful
we're
time.
having a crazy time.
It's a very tense moment. Just stick around.
Just stick around. I swear to God, it's great.
Horrible consequences are on the threshold.
Oh yes, they are.
That was horrible timing.
It's fine.
It was good. It was okay.
Just FYI, folks, we'll be back shortly. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulty with one of our players, but hopefully we'll have them in shortly. We're back. Just heads up, folks watching. One of our players is having some technical difficulties, so we're going to just kind of keep on trucking, and if they can get it worked out, they'll be back into the party.
In the meantime, assume that they are lurking in the shadows just off screen,
Yeah,
but they're
just,
there.
Falling around. They've been eating, so their mouth is full, and they know not to talk with their mouth full.
It's a whisper. They disappear all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, maybe on the ghost field for a little bit. But yes, welcome back, everyone. Just to recap, if you're just joining us, this is Meowrathon. Donate, influence the game, save some cats. Our crew so far has successfully Casino Royaled their way into an invitation to the Dimmer Sisters cat auction, where they've been promised a really handsome reward of jewels and luxury items and wealth. If they're
gems.
Of whatever Porg the Golem has not already consumed. But lots and lots of treasure if they're able to free the cats from the Dimmer Sisters auction. And they have successfully gotten one invitation to said auction where Jane Smith has gotten onto the premises, whereas the rest of the crew is lying in wait. And that's where we rejoin them. And how are we getting the gang back together, folks?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, it seemed like he didn't do too great at opening the window or what have you.
Yeah.
Was that enough to perhaps distract the guard by that window?
Yeah,
maybe. That's a thought.
Yeah, that guard they haven't necessarily walked away, but we're going to start a clock for guard is distracted.
Okay.
It'll be a 4-point clock, and you've gotten one success so far. And if we can, and this can be for anyone, whether you're inside or outside the premises, how are we going to bump up this clock and get this guard to go away? They're already a little embarrassed and have spoken out of turn. So they're a little distracted, but how are we going to push this over the edge?
Okay.
Well,
I'm the only one who technically should be here. So I'd like to go back up to him and just distract, for lack of a better word. And just, hey, I'm sorry for being short with you. You know, it took me a lot of work to get here. I didn't mean to be rude. I understand you're just doing your job. That sort of empty chatter that takes up people's time.
Okay. And what skill are you going to use for that?
This is going to be a sway, I believe.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, I want to make sure that his and any other eyes are squarely on me, which is not usually something that I like to do, but in this case, I want my team to be invisible.
Okay, got it. Yep, risky standard sway.
Risky standard. Let's see what happens.
Mixed success. So we're gonna knock one point onto the clock there. Pure
and
success.
we do still have one rolling in the cat grass.
We do have one extra D. I'm gonna leave it. Actually, I
Okay.
think this is good enough.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So the way it works for this purpose is mixed success is plus 1 point, pure success is 2, and a crit is 3.
Got
So you got 1 point added to it. If you fail, then we're gonna have a guard suspicious clock that's working in tandem. But so far we don't need to go there yet because you guys you all have this. I have faith in everybody here. So for the moment, yeah, you're able to kind of gather a crowd and just you calm down the guard and just it's just not used to having so many people around. Most of the time people know better than to come on, but it's different when there's crowds. I appreciate your patience.
Of course. Everyone's. I'm gonna let you in on this. I think everyone's a little nervous being here. I mean, it's the dimmer manor, the myths alone. I mean,
and as you say that, some of the others in the crowd are like, yeah, like they kind of overhear you and they're agreeing, and that's how you sort of start gathering people in. Is people feel relieved at the opportunity to share a little bit of that tension, and they're glad it wasn't just them. So everyone's kind of like, and you got a little bit of a crowd, not like a mob or anything, but people are agreeing and paying attention and just like,
I mean, there's only so many people here to begin with.
Yes,
so.
Exactly. Meanwhile, for the folks outside, your objective at the moment is not to get in, but to help distract the guard. How do we want to help distract the guard?
Can I like do a little dance and like do that to distract him?
But
Like,
you're not even there yet, are you? We're outside trying to figure out how to get in.
Yeah, you're outside the he can't see you, and the point is you want him to be distracted to look away from you. So you want him to be distracted so he's not looking at you is the goal.
Oh, so okay.
You're trying to make him look away so you can be invisible and sneak in.
Hold on. I have something good for this.
I again don't want to backseat GM, but what load are we all taking?
Oh.
I think most of you clicked that before. I thought
no,
anyway.
I didn't.
No, it looks like
I
Sir
completely
and
missed that.
Jane did not.
I missed that, I guess.
I'm gonna go normal. Seems.
Yeah, ditto.
You all did.
Actually, let me go light. Light seems. Jane doesn't seem like the kind of person to carry much on her except what is strictly necessary at the time.
So what if I if I have a tune, can I get the ghost to distract the guard?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's an option, yes. Do you have a tune?
So I roll a d6.
How many dots you got in a tune?
1.
1. Yep.
Oh.
Roll 1d6.
All right, then.
Does anyone want to assist, or do you want to push yourself, Caden, and put that extra bit of effort? It'll cost you some stress, but you
I'll
can get an extra
assist.
dot.
I'll help, actually.
All right. Only one needs to pay the stress. Who wants to pay the stress
I'll
to
pay
help?
the stress.
All right. We got
Hold
Sir
Oh.
helping out.
on. You have 2 stress,
It's,
and I have 0.
right, but I'm
Well, you could
helping
do
you.
both. Yeah, and you could still, if you'd like, if you want an extra die, you could push yourself and take 2 more stress, or take 2 stress and get an extra die. So you'd roll 3 then.
I think 2's good enough.
All right, 2 it is.
All right. Let's see what you got.
I got a 4.
A 4. That's going to be another
Success.
plus 1 added to our clock here, and you conjure in some spirits. And again, the goal isn't to cause a scene, right? You don't want to make these people panic as a ghost comes into view, but you're able to have the ghost rustle around some debris and start to just give that chill in the back of people's necks. And people start looking around, and the guard sees that people were just talking about how nervous they were. And suddenly it seems that people feel like they're being watched, or that something is lurking just behind them. And people, maybe they've spooked themselves, but you know that it's the ghost you summoned right on the edge of everybody's mind, and the guard starts kind of looking around. What's everyone looking at? What's going on? Calm down. Remember, we're in this together. But you can tell that again, the crowd is starting to be tense, and that's making the guard's job of paying attention to that gate just a little bit harder.
Yeah.
All right, we need one more. Who's going to try to push this guard over the edge and really make them fail their job?
So I've been studying all of the electroplasmic wiring going into this mansion.
Yes, you have.
Right.
So from outside the gate, could I cut one of these decorative lights that are out in the courtyard to see if I can get some
Ooh.
guards to go over and investigate?
Absolutely. I think that sounds
love
like a
it. I
lot
love
of
it.
fun. Yeah, that's a really good one. Yes. Risky standard. Don't want to get caught after all, but what I was a tinker, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Love it if it was Tinker.
Yes. Push yourself, want a devil's bargain? Or does anyone want to assist?
I will assist, actually, because one of my abilities is twice per score I can assist without accruing stress.
Beautiful. Sounds like a great opportunity for that as you try to really cement. So how are you, I believe that's called foresight, right? That maybe you had this plan beforehand.
I believe it is, yes.
So how did you plan for this moment exactly?
I'd like to really play up the perception of everyone knows the dimmers are spooky as hell. And I'd like to really play up the perception that there are forces at work that we may not understand. And so when that light goes out, I'd like to just sort of exaggerate my reaction a little. Oh goodness. Startled myself. I'm sure it's all because this guy, this may have just been how you played him, but I don't get the read that he's a dimmer regular. I think he's just as terrified as we are.
I think that you're right. I
Goon,
think
is
this
that
is
what you're saying?
extra security. Normally they don't have this many people, so they don't have this much need
Right.
for, but yeah, he definitely gave off the he's spooked a little bit to be here as well vibe.
Very good. I'd like to press that nerve specifically. I'd like to just, well, good thing you're here. Keep us all safe, hey?
And with that'll grant an extra die to you for the tinker roll. And
as I walk away, I'd like to just make a show of holding my spirit bane charm. Just
yeah, beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
assuming the light goes out.
assuming the
Right,
light
that's-
goes
yeah,
out, but you do
but-
have the extra D.
Yeah, yep. You'll still take the extra die there.
All right, ready?
Yep, let's
Yep.
do it. That's all you needed. That's
All
all
right.
you needed to get that last point there. But it goes off without a hitch. I mean, everybody was nervous. It took a lot of, guts to do what you did. But that light goes out, and despite your bravery, you play afraid perfectly. And the guard just like, damn it, that's why I didn't even want to be here today. I don't know what I'm in over my head. I'm an old man. I need to be retired. I shouldn't be messing with one more jobs. That's the one you get killed on. It's always the last job. And kind of starts to have a
Today
little
was
bit
my
of a
day off.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Gives out that desperate cry, and at this moment is completely oblivious. Not to mention it's extra dark here right now because the lights flicker off and maybe come back on for a moment, but there's kind of like a strobe light effect. There's plenty of darkness distraction. Not only is this guard distracted, but the crowd is distracted. You notice that this is a moment to join the scene. So how do you want to make this collectively make this entrance into the foreground here?
Well, I'm going to be dressed in, my finest noble clothes that I was able to, bring from the Dagger Isles and try to just kind of hopefully slip in and just kind of match the vibe as best I can.
There is like a gate that you'd have to climb, but with the distraction, you think that there would be an opportunity, but how are you specifically going to get over this or around this gate? Let's say? The guard is not looking at the gate, but there is still a gate.
What kind of shape is it? Is there like footholds on it, or is it like
it's bars, but there are some crossbars that will say that you can get a foothold on there if you want to just like.
I'm going to try to just hoist myself over a fence.
Okay, maybe if you'd like, unless anyone has another idea, we could do this as a group roll, and one of you could lead.
Group roll.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
have kind of an idea if we want to try to avoid a roll, but it would be a little
Okay.
harder to conceal.
Okay.
If I take bandolier as one of my items, could we say that I have some acid we could rub on the bars and then just like remove a bar?
Yep. Yeah,
Like
exactly. And you're right. That would make a roll unnecessary. They will know that they got hit afterwards, but I'm assuming probably by the end of this it'll be very obvious.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just
it
guessing.
probably
I
will.
don't know what you're gonna do, but most of the time, just how these
Most
games
of the
end,
time.
right? That being said, you can pay the inventory and then forego needing to make a roll and just and slip in while everyone's distracted. And yeah, I assume you're all dressed to fit the scene, right? So once you get inside, you blend in with the crowd who's all distracted and all that. So that way nobody's standing out because they're not wearing their street clothes, we'll say.
Yeah, I loaned everyone my wardrobe, so some of them it's a little loose.
Oh,
But
a little loose, a little big.
We put a little safety pins on there to try to pull the pants back.
Yeah, it only needs to last for the night, right? A couple
Exactly.
hours at most. That's all it needs to do.
Don't
And
rip
then you'll have
those.
so much money
Don't rip
that you
those.
can
Those
buy.
are my best pants.
It would break my heart.
It would break my heart.
I love those pants.
Those pants were
Those
like
are my
pants to me.
favorite one. They
If you
fit
pull this off, you can
perfectly.
buy all the pants you want.
But you are now all collectively within the Dimmer Sister Manor gates. As the crowd, especially after the lights go out, start to kind of pour inside. Would you like to follow them, or do you have other plans?
I think, guys, I think it's a good idea to kind of just swim upstream alongside the other salmon.
Fish.
Go with the flow,
Yep.
whatever metaphor you want to use.
Yep, sure.
Okay.
All right. And so you go through the double doors there, along with the crowd. Are you all a group, like a clique, or are you all still doing like you were at the poker game where it's like we don't really know each other?
I'm choosing not to acknowledge anyone else.
Okay. And
Yeah,
it
I
looks
think
like it
that's
put you
still a good
guys-
idea. Good approach.
Yeah, it looks like it put you all like on the far end of the house. Come to like the front door area, and we'll start here.
Let's see.
I'll put a
Whereabouts am I
Where am
looking?
I?
Front
Yeah.
Here we
door.
go.
1 second.
There we
Oh,
go. It's
invisible?
the southernmost point.
Right here?
Who's invisible?
I can't see me.
Oh, wait, I don't think I can see you either.
Let's see. Jane, Jerry, Rudder.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
moving
someone's
around or moving the scene around, but I'm not there.
How strange.
Let me see.
He's got a superpower.
Try refreshing your browser. And a lot of times that fix most bugs with one more multiverse.
Let's see.
Is it an ant? Oh, what was that?
Oh, there I am. Nope.
Hey,
Wait,
okay.
I see me, but I'm not moving.
Oh, I see. Try now. Maybe you were stuck behind that table.
I don't see you.
No.
He's in another room at the moment. I saw him move.
He moved around. Is someone dressed? Is he being driven?
I
by
was
someone?
dragging. Yeah, I was trying to drag
Oh.
you to see if you were stuck in some terrain or something.
Yeah.
But
That's strange.
Very weird.
well, I will move you with the group.
That works.
But I'll just move you manually.
Hand of God, place where you need
Yeah,
to
At
be.
exactly,
at
just-
least it allows me to scroll through, so I can still
yeah,
see what
exactly.
everyone's
You're
doing.
camera person at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can just drag you.
Oh, I am. I am not in the union. I'm gonna get so much trouble.
But yeah, you come in and you see that there's another Devil's Bargain donation. Thank you so much, and it's
Ooh,
my
thanks for the
choice.
donation.
So I got a fun one for you next time we need to do a roll.
I'll take the devil's bargain.
But the group is moving as a mass at this point and starts to gather in the foyer here. And at the top of the stairs. These stairs here. There's a woman dressed in very fine clothes, and she says, "I would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. The event shall begin in precisely 30 minutes. I suggest everyone finish up any hors d'oeuvres or appetizers and begin making their way to the cellar. The event will begin there shortly."
Right. Okay.
What are the hors d'oeuvres?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
what kind of canapes are we looking at?
Yeah, and you came
Stuffed
kind of
mushrooms?
strategically. You didn't want to be the first ones there, so you didn't want to stand out. But the event, some folks showed up when the doors opened, so to speak, and seemed to have been enjoying the finest bit of actual steak. And when I say bit, I mean they are shreds. But I mean this, you believe, might have actually come from a cow. So an animal you've only heard of. I mean, they need a lot of grass, and grass needs the sun,
Steak
right?
tartare in this economy.
But exactly, just the finest bits, and people are taking the smallest slivers and they place them gently on their tongue. And then the alcohol options, the finest wines, the crispest beers. I mean, plenty of people are imbibing heavily in the drinks and less so in the food, as not to seem greedy for taking advantage of the fine food.
Of course. Of course. Right. So it seems like we have two options at the moment. We can either wait for them to present the cats to us, at which point we can, I don't know, insert plane here, or we can use this time that they appear to be prepping to kind of intercept them, I suppose. We have not necessarily free reign, but we definitely are inside the manor, which was step one. I think at this point it might not be outside of the realm of impossibility just to have someone break off, preferably one of our hounds break off, and just try to find the payload.
Since I'm of a noble background, it might be a good idea to send Jerry to hunt it down.
Okay.
Might be, yeah, you might be recognized, especially in the old money sectors.
That's true.
All right, Jerry, you want to start doing some sleuthing, see if you can find out where they might be keeping them?
So I just look around.
You tell me. How would you like to explore your surroundings? If you'd like to give me a description of an action or choose a skill, I can play it either way. But just give me a sense of how do you want to sneak around and see what you can learn or see.
I just blend in with the crowd.
All right. Yeah. The crowd itself is moving in the general direction of the cellar, and the Madame, the hostess, MC, however you want to call her, was suggesting that that's where the festivities would take you. You would suspect, blending with the crowd, that if you were to keep following the crowd, likely they would take you to the cellar, and it's likely that's would be at least where the auction is happening. If you want to give me something more specific you're looking for, I can give that, but that's what you can tell by sort of going with the flow, that you suspect if you continued to go with the flow, you would be taken to the cellar for the auction.
Maybe you can look for some like hair on the floor or something that might lead you to where what we're looking for is.
Or I could listen for meows.
Yeah.
I would actually like to...
'Cause, like, if cats were trapped, they would definitely meow.
They might. I would actually like to flashback at this point.
Oh, no.
Now, before we started this job, I've heard whispers of the Dimmers. Everyone has. But specifically, I've heard from not necessarily architects, but like archaeologists, people, archivists perhaps, who have studied Six Towers and know more or less the ins and outs. There are myths of secret passages and hidden hideaways with all over the Dimmer Mansion. And some of them, my contact has been able to give me the location of a couple of them. And I would like to give that information to Jerry so that he may move more freely.
Beautiful. Give me a quick roll. It could be study. It could be consort sway. How did you acquire this information? How reliable and secret of the information is? And this is more of a fortune roll, just to see how much of a boon this would be.
Very much like a consort to me. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, so you don't know exactly the trigger, but you do know where the door would be, and you give that information to Jerry of like somewhere. I don't know how to open it, but it's going to be here, and we'll figure out where here is in a moment. But Jerry, how do you want to? Somewhere here there's a secret door. How do you want to try to find it or where it is? How do you want to find the trigger? And that'll help decide where it is.
Like the trigger, like how to get it.
Yeah, like how to open the secret door, like take the book off the bookshelf and Scooby-Doo kind of thing.
Okay. I don't know. Hold on. Let me look at my stuff and see what would be good.
Could be study, could be survey. Might be able to just prowl, like look for secret spots because you're a sneaky person.
Okay, I'll do prowl.
You prowl, okay. You got 1d6 to begin with. We're gonna say that it's gonna have a great effect because you have the information of where the door is, so like you know where to look. And position, and this is because of Jane's help. You're in a control position. You were already blending in, so it's controlled great. You're in a really good spot for this roll. You start out with 1 die. Would you like a devil's bargain to get another one?
You may also push yourself.
You may also push yourself if you want to pay some stress.
Yeah, I'll take a devil's bargain.
Okay. A devil's bargain is going to be that it seems that at least one of the cats that's supposed to be with the rest of them has already escaped and made their way into the manor. And for whatever reason, will have taken a very big liking to you. And you'll have this cat following you around for the rest of the mission here if you choose to take this devil's bargain. But you'll also get an extra die to find that thing. Maybe the cat will help you find the trigger.
Okay, I thought devil's bargains were supposed to be bad.
Oh, well, now you've got a cat that's going to draw attention to you. So.
I don't like to make them bad. I like to make them different. So yes, it's good. It's good, but also it could be bad that now, hey, that cat's not supposed to be there and it's following that person, or who knows. But
if any of the Dimmer sisters notice, it's going to be probably not good.
Okay.
Ooh.
3.
Oof.
That you're searching around the secret door.
We have one
cat
grass left.
We have 1 left.
We absolutely do.
Ooh, okay.
Would you like the extra die?
Yeah. But does the cat grass thingy include the devil bargain die?
It would just be an extra. You roll one more die.
Yeah. You got 1 more chance.
Okay.
You want a flashback? Yeah, we can squeeze another flashback in here before we roll. Don't roll that die. Hold that thought and go ahead, Jonathan.
Can I just offer help? Take the stress and say that I point out the spots where Sparkcraft might be easily concealed.
Yeah. You know that where the wiring would go to probably, and how it's typically less obvious. So yes, don't forget to take the stress, but then you'll get to roll 2 additional dice there if you'd like.
Camera's gone again.
Wait, me?
Yes. Yep. You get to try
Oh.
again, but roll 2 2 more.
Wait, like 2 more as in 3 or 2 more as in 2?
Just 2 dice.
2 dice.
Okay. Okay.
2 additional. How's that?
Next success.
I got a 4.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's better than the 3 you got the first attempt there. So,
Really?
with the help of knowing where these kind of things might be hidden, and you're looking on the floor, and you believe it's probably under some barrels or something like that. That there's probably concealed. And as you're looking around, you see this. Looks almost like a string, an orange string, but kind of thick. And you're like, what is? You realize it's a cat's tail. And the cat quickly turns around and locks eyes with you. And you just have this moment where this cat is looking into your soul. And you are looking back at this cat, and you've connected on some sort of transcendental ghost field-like level. Your souls have. This cat is not going to let you out of its sight again. It's going to do everything to make sure it is right there. But it
And
feels
it's orange?
Underfoot.
Yep, it's going to be very
It's
close.
Skeeter. It's Skeeter.
That's I was gonna say if it's orange.
It's an orange cat. Yes, an orange
Okay,
cat.
it's Skeeter.
Perfect. And you know that by looking into this cat, you know that this cat's name is Skeeter.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the name of this cat. But Skeeter starts to rub up against this one barrel, and you believe because it's a mixed success. You don't know, but you believe that you would be able to hit a switch that's under this barrel. But you also think that moving this barrel might make some noise. But you think you know where the trigger probably is, but it's a little hard to get to.
Okay,
And
so
now you have Skeeter.
would I do a is there skill that I could use to make it quieter?
Depends on
Could
what
be,
you're trying to
Do you have Prowl? Because Prowl would, right?
Yeah, I
That
have
would be
Prowl.
to traverse unseen. Would that apply?
Yeah, I think that's a
Prowl
fair
could work.
option.
Okay, so I roll a prowl.
If you'd like, yeah. You can
Okay.
also try to make somebody else do it if you'd like.
Okay,
But,
I'm gonna do a prowl, and I'm gonna push myself.
okay. Pushing yourself, so that'll get you an extra die there. We're going to say that this is a risky standard roll, just kind of a run-of-the-mill prowl roll here.
I'm
but you got
going
your
to help him as well. I'm going to have
Okay.
kind of, he's off around the corner, and I kind of noticed the cat show up and him eyeballing the barrel, and I know that by himself it's not gonna be a good situation. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
so
try
if
to
he helps-
kind of walk
if-
backwards towards him and help him move the barrel.
So
All right,
if he helps, I add another die, right?
you sure
Add
do.
one more D, yes.
Okay.
Come on, we can do it.
And now I roll.
I believe.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think you needed that third die.
I think you did as well. There we go.
No.
There we go. Yes, with the perfect amount of discretion and distraction playing in harmony here, you're able to just kind of shift that barrel over. And yes, the cat knew. Skeeter knew that was the barrel to draw attention to. As you see the stone floor there, you believe that if you were to push your foot on it, it would open up a secret door behind a shelf that has like bottles that it would probably get behind there. So if we kind of looking at the screen, you guys are at the upper left-hand part now, where this door is and the barrels and all this are.
Wait, so are we where we started?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. As you're making your way,
That's what I assumed because there's a bunch of barrels over here.
yeah. So you're in that room, and you think that in this like far right-hand corner of that room where those barrels are stacked, we're going to assume they were stacked vertically and that it was sitting on this stone, right? So it's like not actually on it. You move it aside, and you think if you push that with your foot, the shelf here would move, and there'd be a secret passage.
But I shouldn't because people could see, right?
There are people that it's probably been a few minutes. They said there was be 30 minutes, and then you'd expect everybody to start making their way downstairs. That's the direction
Right,
everybody's
most of us
headed.
are headed to the cellar.
Yeah.
I want to throw something out too. It was missed because Dane did a whole bunch of stuff. We've also got a Feeling Frisky GM's choice and 8 additional rolls. So,
Oh,
Very good. Very good.
thank
very
you all
much.
for your generosity. Thank you all, and for keeping our crew. 9 rolls here, and we had a Feeling Frisky. Was that the other one? So,
yep.
Jonathan, if you want to take an upgrade, I don't think you've gotten one yet. So you may upgrade a dot in a skill or take a new special ability.
Thank you, Dane.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Very much appreciated, Dane. Thank you very much.
And yeah, we'll assume that there's some stragglers that most people have made their way down already into the cellar, but you believe that you would have. So there are some people here, and there is one guard stationed by the door. Other than that, you're alone. So we'll say there's 3 people in that room with you.
Okay.
And if you wait a little bit, they'd probably head down, but there is one guard, and you're not sure what he might do.
Okay, I have Skeeter in my hands now.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So there's one guard. Do we just kind of... Do we hitman him?
Yeah.
We got to get to these cats. We're feeling some pressure.
I've got an
You're
idea.
Yeah,
certainly
the
welcome to
auction's
hit
about
the
to
man.
start.
Because I was able to just get a new ability, I could take Venomous.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I've decided to take the poison Standstill as the poison I can excrete through my skin or saliva.
Oh, God.
So
Which
I would
leeches
just walk
can
up to
do
this
somehow.
guard and offer to shake his hand and just say, "Thank you for keeping us all safe tonight."
Love it. Love it. And yeah, it seems to not even think twice about. I'm assuming you wait till like the last of the stragglers are gone, right? And then it's just you alone, and just it still looks like there's a small group. Nobody knows that you're there together, so there's still a couple people, and he's looking around and reaches out, and yeah, what does the poison do as it hits him?
It is Standstill that causes temporary paralysis. So he's just going to kind of freeze up and be stuck.
Yeah, locks into place. And yeah, you have right now, at least there's only one paralyzed guard and your crew and Skeeter in the room.
Pull my hand out from his. Anyone want to help me throw him behind some barrels?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. All right, I will help you with that. And I said, I'll grab the legs, you grab the shoulders, and we can just kind of shift them behind some of the barrels.
Yeah.
And throw a
It is
cloth
done.
over them.
yeah, exactly. Just throw a sheet on top of him, and he's part of the storage here.
May you dream of large women.
All right.
And you have the button exposed for the secret passage, and you have paralyzed guard now well hidden.
All right.
Okay. Seems like it's about to kick off in just a second.
Yeah, let's go get them cats.
Let's get them
Yeah.
cats.
All right, as you push the button, sure enough, as expected, the shelf moves over, and it looks like there's just a ladder, like a small room you walk in that just has a ladder, manhole size like ladder going down.
All right. Sir takes point and just starts hopping down, sliding down the ladder.
All right.
And we are... Move yourselves, or I can move you as you load in. We're going to put you in these cages over here.
Wait, so we're trapped?
No, we're just over by them.
Oh, okay.
You're in the cages, but this is actually a full wall, so there's not you're not visible
Got
this
it.
way.
I recognize this scene.
But so you don't know what's on the other side of this wall here. You
Okay.
guys just see this cell, and these where these shackles are. That's the ladder for
Got
our
it.
purposes. So you come down here, and you can hear on the other side of the wall. You can hear murmurs, talking, human voices, chattering. But for the moment, at least, you also see a number of cats.
Very good.
There they
If
are.
I may, I would just like to make it known that I've found an opportunity to duck away from the crowd and join the rest of the party.
Of course, yes. We'll assume that there's a bunch of cats. I don't know how many I just put in there, but
Kind
yes, the
So
crew is together.
we've got an open manhole, a bunch
Submarine
of
dive
cats.
down the ladder.
Okay, I've got an important mechanical question. How much
Yes.
control do I have over my hunting dog?
Ooh.
Oh,
I think a fair amount. Yeah, I think that you almost like you could give instructions, not super detailed, but slight telepathy, we'll say.
Got it. And then
Can I turn can I make it so Skeeter follows me so I don't have to hold
it's fine.
I don't know how to make it actually follow you, but we'll assume, although it looks like you're holding Skeeter, Skeeter's actually under your feet.
So
But just so we can keep them together,
Right.
we'll do it like that.
So I
but-
turn to Jerry and I go, Jerry, have you heard of herding cats?
what?
Let's get our dogs into the action and have them get the cats outside.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I have my dog equipped, but I don't know where it is.
So I would like to actually,
You don't really have to see it for it to work.
Okay.
I'd like to check off 2 of my 3 boxes of load for a set of collapsible duffel bags that I have strewn about my person at any given time. And I'd just like to put those on the ground. It's like, all right, let's get these cats out of here.
Ooh, can I
Load them up.
Can I make one of the other alchemicals in my bandolier, like catnip oil?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That we
Yes.
can put in the
yes.
bags.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay,
Almost
nice.
a throwback to the very first Meowrathon Blades in the Dark, where it was all about getting catnip for catnip
That's
oil type purposes. So yes, it is absolutely canon in this world.
Got it. Okay. So if you've all ever tried to pick up a cat and put them in a bag,
They do not like it. No.
so
But if
maybe
that's full
between the
catnip.
catnip oil and maybe just our dogs, just not like being aggressive, but just kinda
Herding.
encouraging
Shepherding,
movement
yeah.
They're
towards
big,
the
they're
bags.
Yes. So we have the catnip oil, we have the bags. Let me get a roll from both of our hunts here. Or hounds, sorry. Both of our hounds, make a roll for your hounds for how you would like to do them. You both will have 1 extra die due to the help of the catnip oil. So rather than do position and effect, the duffel bags make, because you have like a specific thing and you can have Jane holding the bags open and trying to like zip them up. So we're kind of getting the whole crew together, but we're going to do 2 rolls from our 2 hounds. And tell me what skill you'd like to use.
What would I select?
How are you trying to manipulate or control your puppies there?
Yeah,
The
we're making the
dogs.
dog do what we say.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an action.
Yeah.
I'm terrified to say this, but I'm surprised there's no one else down here.
Well, they're on the other side of
Not
the wall,
yet.
so
Yeah.
we
not
came in a
yet.
secret door.
That's right. We didn't come in the proper entrance.
Mhm.
I'm gonna use command.
That's a good option.
Yeah,
But
Okay.
I was kind of thinking the same thing too.
Okay.
And you assume that the wall that you have probably moves similar to the way that the shelf moved, that it's a false wall on the other side and you're in a hidden compartment, essentially.
Okay.
But let's do Jerry first.
Okay.
You get
So
one
I
extra
have-
die.
I have two dice, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mixed success. Your dog's getting
Ooh.
some in, but they're still, I mean, they're cats. They go
They're cats.
everywhere
They're
and
cats. They do what they
they're
want.
hissing and they're running around. Some are really interested in the oil, but we have
Yeah.
another hound trying to help. Let's
Yep.
see how you do.
And I get 2 dice too as well.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I really want this to work, so I'm going to push myself.
Okay. And we do have I think 9 bank rolls
So
from
I'll
our
make a note of that.
We've got a decent amount.
Actually,
Yes.
should I just do that instead of the push, guys?
You might as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some to spare.
Yeah,
And we're getting towards the end here.
Okay. Well, that there is a 6.
There
Woo!
we go. The last couple stragglers between everybody corralling these cats. You get all, let's say, 9 of them. Question, or actually note, Skeeter specifically will not go in that bag. Skeeter's not leaving your side. You know that he will leave when you leave, but he will not get in that bag for anything. Doesn't seem affected by the dogs, the catnip oil, only once Jerry. That being said, the rest of them successfully in the bag.
Yes.
All right. Let's get out of here while we can.
Let's go.
I'm changing his name to Pumpkin.
Pumpkin it is. Yes, Pumpkin is by your side. And would you like to go back upstairs?
I think if we do it right, we can get out of here without having to blow the building up, which is definitely what I would prefer to do.
Yeah.
I was
would-
literally just suggesting blowing something. Just suggesting blow something up. So
I mean, if ever there was a time to escalate.
Well, I guess. Are we by an outside wall? I guess that's the question.
Well, as you reascend the floor there, back to the main floor, you
Mhm.
are
It's
greeted.
at my feet now instead
Uh-oh.
of in my arms.
Uh-oh. You're hiding.
What happened?
Uh-oh.
I appear to
Oh.
be someone stuck behind a barrel.
Oh no. Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
Wow. Okay, the barrel
Magic.
Good
got
job. you
launched
moved the barrel.
across
I think I just walked out of the wall, but that's okay.
my latent telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you, as soon as the cats, it doesn't matter where you are, but when that bag of cats, the duffel bags, both of them, the second one, crosses the plane to the floor, the main floor, 3 figures, completely shrouded in what looks like funeral veils, appear in front of you. You feel this ghastly presence emanating from them. You believe that you are in the presence of the fabled Dimmer sisters.
Oh no.
Thieves! They hiss, almost matching the sound of those cats when they were being put in the bag. But you are standing in front of the legendary Dimmer sisters. You're holding their cats. You're in their house, and you have a moment to do something. What are we doing, folks?
I would like to just go, ladies, this is a huge misunderstanding. I promise you. And I would like to use my last box of load to draw a spirit bottle from one hand and my pocket pistol in the other, which does not require a box of load as it is in italics on my sheet. And I would like to just shatter the spirit bottle on the floor and take a shot at the nearest Dimmer sister and just leg it.
All right. As you do that, and we're gonna each of you are gonna do something to this. This is our grand finale here. So you're gonna smash the bottle, use it as a distraction, and try to fire your pistol at one of them. Jerry, what are you doing?
Okay. Let's see.
What was your special abilities?
That's what I'm looking at. One of them is sharpshooter. I can push myself to do I can push myself to make a ranged attack at extreme distance beyond what's normal for the weapon, or unleash a barrage of rapid
Barrage.
fire.
There you go.
To
Yeah.
suppress-
Rapid fire, it could be handy.
That could be good.
That could be very helpful right now.
So I roll. Oh, damn it. Okay. So I roll. I roll a d6 to do that. Right.
We will hold that thought. We're gonna do our rolls in order. We're to kind of get what everybody's doing because this is like all happening at the exact same time. That you have this. We'll even say that this is like your exit plan that you all have rehearsed and like this type of thing. Maybe not exactly, but this is your all big moment. So we got the pistol smashing, we got the barrage of, or we got the glass smashing, the pistol firing, the barrage of fire. Sir, what are you up to?
Oh, that's a great question. All right, so there's a lot going on.
I'll say.
Let's see. So, I think. Let's see. What options do I have for my inventory that I could maybe take advantage of?
I don't know if Jonathan, if you have something, we can always jump back.
Yeah,
to
let me
or...
consider here.
Yep, not a problem.
Because Caden did what I was going to do. So
it's a good option. It's a really good option.
I was thinking that I would take some demolition tools. So I'll have a sledgehammer that I'll just pull out from under my very big coat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
As one does.
As one does, yes.
3 little kids in a trench coat.
And then use Ghost Ward, which says
Oh.
you know how to wreck an area with arcane substances and methods, so it is either anathema or enticing to spirits. Your choice. And I'm assuming that the Dimmer Sisters, being renowned for their occult work, are going to try to use some of that on us. So I'm going to smash the ground in front of them and make it anathema to spirits.
Yeah, kind of like ward their magic away in their own home with your giant magic hammer thing that just was conveniently in your coat. Love that. We're going to see that.
The spirit
If
bottle
it's
it just
good.
smashed.
Maybe make one angry spirit who's trying to get out of Dodge in any direction
Maybe,
possible, even the Dimmer Sisters. Let's see, though. And finally, sir, how are you? We got the spirit bottle, the pistol, the barrage of bullets. We got the hammer. We got the anathema to spirits. And we have...
arcane implement to get some lantern oil to throw, and a lantern that is lit to also throw.
Beautiful.
Okay.
When in doubt... we were going to blow up the house. Let's be honest. That was
this
always
is
going to
absolutely
happen.
Basically, a Blades in the Dark Molotov is what I'm making here.
I love that. All right. We're going to go in order then. We have the Dimmer Sisters clock that has same rules as before, where it's a mixed successes 1 point, a 6 is going to get you 2 points, and critical success will get you 3. And we need to finish off the Dimmer Sisters and get these cats to safety. We're going to start with Jane. Smash the bottle, shoot the pistol.
All right. What do I
What are we
roll for
rolling?
this?
What are we rolling here? Yep, that's you tell me.
This feels.
And we're nearing the end. We got 8 rolls, guys. Just heads up.
Yeah, that's it. You don't have to pick your best because
This
This
is
is-
true.
Just do your worst.
Whatever I do isn't going to be my best. This does feel very wreck, which ironically is my worst.
I love it. I think it's wreck. I think it's very wreck.
I will definitely add 1d. Let me add 2 of those to this.
Nice.
Just have any kind of chance. I'm very curious to see if I asked for a devil's bargain, what would you offer me?
For the devil's bargain, part of when you smash that spirit bottle, and because of the way that the Dimmer Sister magic works, and with the anathema radius going out, it all kind of blurs together, and part of Jane's soul will enter the spirit world, or will enter the ghost field, and you'll never quite feel complete again. Always a sense of missing, but you still will be present in the ghost field. Like it's not your whole ghost or your whole life force leaves, but just a bit gets kind of swept up in the madness.
What a terrifyingly accurate metaphor for dysphoria.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
take it. Well, thanks, Josh. I got enough of that in my real life.
I apologize, not intentional. Okay,
Oh,
and
come on. Wait.
Do you-
I forgot to add the D for the
Oh,
devil's
that's
punch.
Yes,
true.
yep,
That's true.
yep,
Come on.
yep.
Let me just roll a fortune.
there we
Oh,
go.
my fucking
Much better. Much better.
God.
It was
Yeah,
worth trading
nice.
away a piece of your soul because you got the 6, which is 2 points on the clock. Next, we have Jerry. You're doing that barrage of bullets. What
Hold on.
skill are you using?
I just realized I have electroplasmatic ammunition.
This is
Of course
true.
you do. Yes, you do. Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
So I'm gonna use that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
super effective here.
We don't have to worry about heat.
Let's see.
No, there's about to be a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a one shot. What are consequences?
literal heat, much less the
I'm
blue code heat.
using if I'm using my special ability, what that's still
Normally,
action.
Normally it would yes, it would still be an action. Normally that would probably increase your effect, but with our little end game system here, I'm just going to use it to give you an extra die that you can add to your roll here
Okay.
for
You could
using that
probably use
item.
your hunt for it, right?
Yeah, I think hunt is a really
Definitely.
good skill because
Sure.
that's normally your firing your gun skill. And you can add an extra die because of the ammunition. And let's see how you do.
Now I have 4 dice. And I
And we
got a
got a 5.
All
All
right.
right, that's another one. You're
I
halfway
got
there.
a 2, 3, a 4, and a 5.
All right. And next we got I'm sorry, we have what was your plan, Jonathan? The hammer, right? The hammer. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And letting out the anathema to ghost field. So what skill would you like to use to enact that chaos?
I would like to use wreck.
I love it.
Very good. Very good.
All blade scores end with wreck. That's
Really,
just
yeah.
a true
Facts.
statement.
How many of those extra die do we have rolling? Like,
We still have
Hang on.
6.
6. All right.
Unless someone wants to do some last minute donations.
That's it. Yeah, this is your chance. They need the saving, right? It's to save cats.
It's for
both
the cats.
real
We have
life.
cats in bags. You gotta get them out of here.
We're trying to save real cats and fictional cats
They're
here.
in a
There's a lot
duffel
of
bag.
cats.
You know that's not gonna last with those claws.
Oh no,
let's
no,
take 2 of those die. How does that sound?
that sounds fair.
And I'll push myself 2 just for the flavor.
All right. This is all in moment. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
All right.
6. All right.
That was a straight 6. Nice.
Yeah. So we have 1 point left. It all comes down to this, and it all comes down to some Blades in the Dark Molotov cocktails.
Absolutely.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
As it always does.
Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably a rec roll, yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
sounds like one to me.
That way.
And I'm gonna push myself.
Yeah.
So with my 2 items, right, and then my rec, and then my push, that's 4 dice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Sure.
And that's a 6.
That's all we need. There we go. Folks, there is chaos is putting it lightly, right? There's the roars of downstairs as people realize that this auction isn't happening right away, and the murmur starts to rise as you're locking eye contacts
As
with the
does the
dimmer
smoke.
sister. Yes, but then that whatever is happening downstairs is completely irrelevant or completely infinitesimally small compared to the chaos you're unleashing on the ground floor of the Dimmer Sister Manor, as there is waves of flame. There is this burst of negative energy that almost feels like it's dragging your sense of self out of your body. And particularly for Jane, just something doesn't seem to come back. There is hails of bullet fire, smashing of glass, evil ghost energy that's getting pushed around by the wave of anathema energy, and just gunfire, flame, boom, cats are hissing, screaming. And in this chaos, the Dimmer sisters seem to just almost erupt with flame, but it's not the flames of just the fires that were started, but they disappear in what looks like a black flame, like they were almost vanquished from their own home by just this wave of energy. The cats let all out in unison a single hiss as the Dimmer sisters just vanish from your sight. The room you're in is now in flames. The guard is paralyzed in the corner. A single tear comes down out of their eyes.
No.
They're covered up by the blanket. I don't know you see it, but there's just chaos and noise.
Wait, I don't know about him. I don't have to feel guilty.
Yeah.
And downstairs you hear screams and shouts, but you recognize this is your moment to get out of the way. That you don't know where.
Are we at an exterior wall?
Yes. Yep. This would lead outside if you were to go through Kool-Aid Man your way through this wall or something.
Who's
to
our
your
best?
left.
Who's the best for that one? Is that a wreck or what would that be?
I mean,
That feels kind
How
of
much
leech
inventory?
territory.
how much inventory do I have left?
It depends. What did you?
Yeah,
Um,
if you picked a
60?
normal, it's a total of 5.
Total of 5. You had the bandolier. You had the
Oh, wait.
hammer.
A bomb can fit in a bandolier, and I still have one space
Yes.
in the bandolier. Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes, you
What wall do
do.
you want to blow up?
Yeah, just give me a straight wreck. Give me a wreck roll, and let's see if you can cool your man.
I turn to them and I go, "Let's blow this joint."
Wait,
Leg
there's
head.
a wreck roll and a wreck roll.
And wait, yeah, it's on rack. Sorry. I will push myself again.
Can I assist by giving my own additional explosive device?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, so I got 1 extra from help, so 3 total.
Yes.
And why don't you go ahead and take one of those 4?
And I think
Yeah,
this might be
yeah.
our last one.
Yeah, fair
Sure
enough.
enough.
Should we give them all? Should we give them all 4?
Boom, we don't need it. We got
We
the
don't need
6.
it.
6.
Boom! Adding to that just the heat and the flames, and just this wall just starts to just blow out, like with the explosion mixed with all the ambient fuel
God,
from
is there a
whatever alcohol
backdraft?
was in these. Fortunately, no. We'll say no. He got a 6. Maybe that would be a mixed success, but we got a pure success here. And you see freedom laying right on the other side of that wall. The guards have all begun pouring from their posts back through that front door, and you start to hear them come through the front door, whereas you guys are towards like the back end of the house and blew a hole in the wall. But you recognize that this is likely your moment to get out of there.
Yep.
Let's
I'm
go.
not
We need to
saying-
let the cat out of the bag.
Flashback. I coordinated with the gondolier to be ready for us.
Of course you did.
You gotta
Yes,
have a driver.
yes.
You gotta have the
Yeah.
driver.
The getaway driver waiting in
It's
the
just
canal.
a straight shot to a canal.
Yep, exactly. You had plotted the exit well before while you were doing your exterior perimeter checks and all that. That you know the roads to run down to get to that canal where you see that gondolier, and similarly, la di da di da, la di da di do.
They all sing.
It's a different gondolier singing the similar Dagger Isle song, but he the gondolier knows why you're there, right? So they will take you back.
Yep. I
To
hop
the
into the
graveyard.
gondola and I sing along. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Still monotone.
La-di-da-di-da.
Not only
Just
monotone,
tone
but you
deaf till the
can't
end of the
inflect
morning.
anymore.
Yeah, no inflection, no.
You've lost your range.
Yep.
Goodness.
And as you
All
make
right.
your way back to the aisle, you see that Porg and Cheshire Bigglesworth are not there.
Oh no.
But the grave is exposed. Somehow they knew that you were successful, and the treasure is there for your taking. The cats that they had with them remain. The cats are still there, but the people Porg and Cheshire are not.
I stole the shovel.
Perfect. Yeah, they left a shovel there.
Yep.
Porg doesn't need a shovel.
I
Arthur?
say, I'm
will
glad
know.
we have these gems, but I feel that we should probably get these guys fixed and have their ears tagged.
Yeah. And give them
Absolutely.
shots.
I'm stuffing jewels into the duffel bag. Sorry, did you say something?
Yeah, just like hat full of coins and
Don't worry.
And
I know a place.
Any pocket that I possibly have.
plenty of extra left over to make sure that these cats are all well cared for, and you can still enjoy your retirement with more money than you've ever seen. But also, there's plenty to make sure that these cats have wonderful, healthy lives. And yeah, I think that you have successfully bested the Dimmer sisters, freed the cats, and earned your just rewards.
And I obviously am keeping Pumpkin.
And Pumpkin
Of course.
is, whether you like it or not, Pumpkin's going nowhere.
And I turn to the crew and I say, I guess you're not that disappointing after all.
Well, no, we're still disappointing.
Certainly, you
Yeah,
know that it's good that
we
you
did
have this
blow a
amount of
wall
money.
with the timber
Yeah,
manor.
there's if this were not a one shot, the amount of heat that you would take and enemies you would have just made would be astronomical. Fortunately for your characters in Duskfall, having this amount of money can make any problem go away.
Yeah.
And you have secured the treasure there. So thank you all so much
Thank you.
for this game. Thank you to the players. Thank you all the generous donations that we received.
Yes.
I believe I mean this with completely literally. They couldn't have done it without you all. You all made the difference,
Yeah.
and you made this a success. So thank you for your generosity, and thank you to Meowrathon, to OD&D for doing this event. It's one of my favorites, and really happy to be here.
Yeah. Let's all just kind of go around and reintroduce ourselves to those who may be new here, and just kind of just mention what you want to mention. So let's start with Josh again.
Yes. Hello. Goodbye. My name is Josh. You can find me at Heroes Die Show, HEROSDIE.com. That'll bring you to the link tree. You can watch us on Twitch, YouTube. We're on a hiatus right now. We're coming back this fall. But if you want to see more of me, find me at Heroes Die.
And Jonathan.
hi, back on an even smaller device
Wait,
now
yeah.
because the old iPad we were using ran out of battery. But
And you're still
anyway,
there,
yeah,
too.
so
Excellent timing.
Perfect timing.
So yeah, I'm Jonathan, and you can follow my cat on Blue Sky at Furthermore. That is Furthermore with 2 O's at the end. And just there's a lovely community of cats on Blue Sky, is what I'll say. And I recommend anyone who has a cat make an account for them and join us.
Nice. I made you have to do so.
Took that app off my phone.
All right. And Sasha?
I am Sasha Romanov, and every time I do this, I remember that I don't have much of an internet presence. I really need to do that. Just generally an agent of chaos, unaffiliated with anything for now. Email is open to business opportunities if you find that my brand of chaos is what you need. Find me on the internet if you can, and I will see you in the next literally the next game. I'm in the next game this afternoon. So pray for my sleep.
Yeah. Jerry.
Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Kaden. If you don't like me, that's too bad. I'm never leaving.
He's been part of it since he was 2. And I'm Dan. I helped came up with the idea and helped host the idea and host the OD&D podcast. So you can find us at odndpod.com. We have a Deadlands and D&D game that we're doing. And also for Aiden, who unfortunately lost his machine part of the way through the adventure. He'll say goodbye, and he is our friend's son.
Wait, not since I was 2. We didn't have it when I was 2.
Well, close enough. You've been helping with the
How
cats
would you
since
know?
you were. And so good night, everybody, and see us tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. What's our
Card
first game
Heroes.
again tomorrow? Card Heroes? Is that first thing?
Yes, it is with Joan.
All right. Well, Writing with Joan is going to do Card Heroes, a unique game that they came up with themselves. So this should be very interesting. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh, check it out. So 12 p.m. tomorrow. Come check us out. Tomorrow's the last day. Let's see if we can get over $1,000. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night. Thanks for
I
having me.
did have it when I was 2. I